What's up, everybody? If you were just watching, something happened and we were deleted. I don't know. So we're starting fresh. Welcome to the new stream. My name's Kelsey. I'm hosting tonight. Woo! And to my right, I have the lovely and talented Mac. So what did you do that caused us to get a copyright strike?
It's obviously her fault.
Words. I spoke very fancy words, and they're like, we cannot have a person of this caliber speaking too many words.
It's basically Alex's fake news. Alex's fake news got us taken down.
Exactly. I'm spreading all the fake news
That's
around.
what we've got. We've got the fake news here on Call to Action. All right, and below me, we have the amazing PLD. How are you doing now after our little break?
I'm doing really shitty. Before I was doing great. Now I don't know. I'm going to go exactly the opposite of whatever I did. That's fine. It's fine. It's I'm hoping this doesn't happen again. Hopefully, somebody will let us know. Lucas is on. He's on watch to come bursting into the room again and say, "You guys are down. You guys suck."
I gotta ask. Okay, so Dean Morgan, you mentioned in the Action Guys chat, keep asking me if I'm the one behind the swag Twitter account, which I'm not. I wish I were that cool. But I just want to give you a heads up. That's not me. Someone's like chatting on their behalf, and that's not me.
I do too, swag. Wherever you are.
I don't want to take anyone's credit.
That's true. Danny's not here yet. Actually, Danny is going to hop in at some point because she's running a little behind. But that might be it too. Maybe YouTube is pissed off that we said Danny was going to be on.
YouTube is like, we don't have enough Danny.
Yeah, we can't let you guys go on without her. We're gonna ruin your show because we don't want to watch without Danny.
So right now, what we're doing is we're riffing a little bit. So we're waiting for our crowd to get back. This is us improvising, trying to be cool. I don't know if it's working or not, but we'll pretend like it is.
This is what we do. We try to be cool and fail at it. That's what we're known for.
Could be Danny. It could be Danny behind swag. We don't know. I would say it would be me, but I'm way too white to do the drip thing. I sound really bad when I do it.
Drip.
Yeah, I really can't do that. It comes across very much worse. It comes across worse than Roka does when he starts Black Atlanta. It's not good.
Nope, it ain't good.
Not good.
It's good that you recognize that, though.
I do.
There it is.
Recognize my whiteness.
It's not for you.
That's not for me.
That's a real good one.
I guess it is one step forward for mankind there when I recognize my inner old man whiteness.
Paul, I want to know, since we're like quarantining it up, everyone's like watching movies. Is there like what movies have you been watching lately?
Well, I have been continuing my Villeneuve. I should like the fancy names. I love it. Villeneuve. So yesterday I watched Arrival, which is a phenomenal movie to my eyes. I like it's one of the best sci-fi movies we've seen this decade. It's really you don't get many.
He'll say that. Yeah.
Clever sci-fi movies, not like laser guns and aliens and all that stuff. It's really kind of a thought.
Philosophical sci-fi.
That's a good way to say it. I'm not educated enough, obviously. I'm not educated enough. It's very philosophical. Makes you think it's this whole time aspect. Actually, there's a little bit of Nolan in it. I know you don't like Nolan, but there's a little bit of Nolan in it.
I do like Nolan. It's just I can't enjoy Nolan the way I want to enjoy movies.
Well, you said you don't like Nolan.
Too hard about it. I feel like I'm in like high school science class, science philosophy class or something. Like I feel like I need to write a paper after watching Interstellar.
That's true. Well, Arrival is kind of similar to a degree.
Exactly. It's like watching. Like I don't like 2001: Space Odyssey. I can admire it. I think it's beautiful. What it did for film technology, everything it did, influencing future sci-fi films. I respect it. It's amazing. But at the same time, I can take a nap watching that. People don't talk for like 45 minutes into it. It's just, I can appreciate it, but seriously, I'm just like, what happened? Oh wait, nothing happened yet. I can just continue my nap because no one is talking.
Oh my god!
And then so there's like, and then how
grab your Jameson, Paul.
The main character in the entire thing. I understand it. I get it. It's philosophical. It's symbolic of humanity and AI, and I understand. And there's this whole God complex. I don't care.
Why are you the way you are? What happened to you as a child? Who hurt you?
No,
It's all right. It's not your fault.
The thing is, I can, like I said, I can watch and appreciate it, but I'm never gonna sit down and enjoy it the way I sit down and enjoy Armageddon. I love Armageddon. I appreciate them for different reasons. If I'm going to sit down and watch Armageddon, I'm appreciating it for completely different reasons than Interstellar. They're not exactly on the same, even though they both take place in space for a good chunk of the time. I would never put them in the same category of movies. I have to be in a different mood going into them. You know what I mean? Hang on. You would never watch Independence Day and Arrival on the same day, even though they're both about aliens coming to Earth. Am I wrong?
Always. You're always wrong. I don't think I've ever heard you say anything right. So.
No, I mean, like, is that wrong? Would you consider Alien and Independence Day this like part of the same caliber of movies, even though they're both about alien invasions?
Wait, you cut out for me a little bit. Say it again.
Well, they're both about alien invasions, right? And people's reaction to said invasions, right?
Armageddon and
no, Independence Day and Arrival.
Independence Day and Arrival.
Right? Get out of here. Honestly, the thing is, they're both completely different. Arrival is philosophical. It's about the humanity. It's about understanding your grief. It's about that finding that connection with your family and your friends and what connects us as a whole as human beings. Independence Day is a fun time with guns.
All I'm hearing is that you have to be in the mood to watch a good movie.
No, but that's the thing. When I watch these movies, I have to be when I'm going to watching Independence Day, my mind is in a different place. I'm just hanging out. The sun's outside. It's a fun time. I'm eating some barbecue. I'm going in. It's like maybe the 4th of July when I'm watching Independence Day. But if I'm watching Arrival, I'm like having some deep thoughts. Like maybe it's rainy outside. Maybe I want to take a nap. Why
is it a bad thing though? The nap part.
I mean, they're just completely different films.
Okay, I'll agree with that. I will agree with that.
I can both think they're fun, good. I can both think they're good movies, but at the end of the day, one of them, they have completely different themes about them. And so, yeah, I mean, it just I would never put them in the same caliber of movies.
I don't think anyone's ever saying, caliber. See, you use the word caliber. The difference between caliber, and you could say they're different movies, but one is a different caliber. Arrival is a good movie. Independence Day is a trashy movie. I mean, it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both trashy. The one thing really good about Independence Day, honestly, is the Bill Pullman speech and maybe the Randy Quaid "fuck you" aspect. That part. That's about it. Everything else is pretty trashy. To be honest with you, come on now.
It does have
fun. Sure, it has some fun part, but
what I'm saying is specifically is that the way I kind of go into these movies is different. My mind has to be in a certain place when it comes to Arrival. I'm not just going to wake up one morning and be like, today's a good day to watch Arrival. I have to be kind of depressed about the day. I have to, something bad is happening. It's raining outside. Maybe I'm just really angry and or maybe I just want to have a good cry. I'll watch Arrival.
Which is fine. But we began this whole thing by saying basically that it wasn't a good. It's not like you were going off on 2001 thing. It's not
much. I never said it's. I don't think it's a good movie. I'm saying it's not a movie that I would actively want to watch.
Okay, I will let this go. I will let this one go.
It's like Memento.
Fair enough. I'm watching the Villeneuve. I watched Arrival. I loved it. It was great. Now I got to watch Blade Runner 2049 tomorrow, hopefully. I love that one. My favorite movie of the last decade. So I will turn this around to you, Alex. What have you been watching recently?
I just whip out my movies. Okay.
Whipping out your hot Wonka?
I watched in the past week. I watched 15 movies.
Okay.
I watched Videodrome today.
Is that for your show? You're watching it for
Cinema Bias? I'm watching for Cinema Bias with Video Drew herself and Drew Grant. I'm watching that movie. We're watching that movie and we're going to be discussing it because that is a movie very close to our heart, and I am cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I watched The Invitation for the first time. I watched Funny Face, Children of the Corn, Mansfield Park, Wicker Man, the original Wicker Man, as well as the
The
Nick Cage one. The bees. Candyman, Hellraiser, Frozen 2, The Island, and Pokemon Detective Pikachu, just to name a few.
Wow,
And
that's
watched Little Women for the first time.
the new Little Woman or the older?
The new Little Women. Yeah.
Good movie. It's a good movie. Greta Gerwig. I will say that. Well, you, Kelsey, have you watched anything recently?
Watching. I haven't watched really many movies. I've been watching a lot of TV. I watched The Circle. I watched 100 Humans. I've watched a lot of the episodes of Explained.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been watching that. And then, like I said, playing inappropriate video games. That's pretty much what I've been doing.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yep.
I also did, I will say, to start my Bond watch through as well, because I want to watch all the Bonds before I watch No Time to Die. Well, now November. I had been getting ready for April, but now November. So, just so you know, Movie with Anobi, what happened with the takedown? We don't know. We're not exactly sure. I will cross this down. I know YouTube has come out basically saying that they're like at half staff, or they're not well. They're basically things might just get taken down because some algorithm thinks we did something wrong. We have a David B original music, so it shouldn't have been that. I don't know if it's product placement. I will say that I still think it's Alex's hot takes and wrong opinions. That's what usually gets us taken down. But that's all I know about it. That's all we know about it. We know as much as you, but I'm glad everybody found us. Looks like everybody was here who was there is now here. And
and we appreciate it.
And maybe for really sticking around and everything, kind of working through it with us through this whole weird situation.
Yep.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on, guys. You.
That's true, Lucas. It's possible that YouTube had a little bit too much to drink and it's having that problem at this point. Maybe they can have some Blue Chew at some point.
YouTube is pulling a PLD.
Whoa there. Hold on there.
What?
YouTube can't handle PLD. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Didn't even see that. Look at the movie for nobody.
Everyone's pulled down. That's why.
I'm too hot for it. It's like the Hot Man. Me and the Hot Man together.
Yeah, too much to handle.
Too much to handle.
All right. Well, we had some schmo match. Oh my gosh, schmo down matches this week. We did. I don't know if you watched them or not. They were pretty amazing, though.
We did. Yeah. I love
I recorded. I did reactions.
Yeah.
That's the one you did, Alex. You remember that?
I don't know. It's this whole thing. This quarantine situation is really fucking my head up. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what it is.
I don't remember what day it is anymore.
Fair enough.
If it wasn't for our recording schedule, I wouldn't know what day it was.
We're not kidding. I'm like just so lost right now.
Honestly, that's the funny thing is I'm really going by my call to action days. I'm like, okay, it's Sunday because we're doing call live. That's what's going on.
Yep, that's what I'm doing too. It's the only reason I know.
Oh man. Well, what's the first match we had was Brandon the Hot Man. Yeah,
yep.
I'm sorry.
The Hot Man.
Chris can be very upset if we say that, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Hot Wonka.
The Hot Wonka. That's true. If anybody wants to know what that is, you can either watch the Action Guys from earlier tonight that talked about it a little bit, or you can watch Brianne Parker's Brianne Parker. Brianne Chandler's stream.
Hot Wonka sounds like a porn parody of Willy Wonka.
That's the Hot Man. That's Hot Wonka. He dressed as Willy Wonka for Brianne Chandler's stream, the best Throwdown best friends. Just because he wanted to entertain us. He knows we're going through a rough time. He wanted to entertain us, and I love him for that. And it is a beautiful. I said that's what I think of Brandy. That's what it is. I must be thinking of Brandy Parker. That's what it was. I saw her name in the chat, and it hit. That's what it is. And Lucas should be very proud of that screenshot. That's
so
true.
Screenshot.
It is one of the best I've ever seen. So
Lucas, that's like the highlight of his entire life. He's gonna be putting that on his tombstone.
Well, you know what? There's times when like low key.
I want everyone to remember me by.
Sometimes you do like these small things and low key you're very excited about. Like I still am excited at the fact that I was the one who coined Bagel Boy as Ben Goddard's original nickname, even though he doesn't like it anymore. I'm still proud of that moment. But either way, Brandon faces Chandru and Dahandapani from Swag, who is in our chat again. We still don't know who's behind.
Drip.
You don't know who's behind the Twitter account, but he or she are in the chat. This was a great match overall. I love this rivalry. I hope it's a rivalry that's not quite over yet. I know it's a little bit on life support after the match is over. It seems that's what Brandon was saying, but it was a great match. Chandru's good. I mean, he definitely has good. He was pretty much perfect. But Brandon is right there with him, to be honest. He only missed a few. It wasn't like he was, even though it was a TKO, he still showed that he can hang with them. And
he can hang. Absolutely.
Well, let's talk. Round one happened. They almost both were perfect. Hannah blinked once on the Selma Blair in Hellboy question. It was who the girlfriend of Hellboy is, which let Chandru get the Dewberry plus when he gets the bonus bonus point. So for round one, right there with it.
I'm surprised she didn't do that one. To me, that felt like it was a solid 1-pointer. It was very much a softball question. So I don't know. I feel like I wasn't so much disappointed that he didn't know it. I was just very surprised he didn't know it, because she is a reasonably well-known actress. I mean, she's in some of the most iconic teen movies ever.
I think sometimes you can study inner geekdom so hard
exactly
that
we're not prioritizing correctly almost.
Right. So it seems like almost like the other questions are kind of like, let's say that's, I don't know if you ever saw that SpongeBob episode when he was told to he had to remove everything except fine dining from his head, and at the end he couldn't even remember his name because he had nothing else but fine dining in his head. It's the same type of thing. I think he had everything in his head until it was just inner geekdom.
That makes sense to me. Where you're focusing on the details so much, you get thrown by a question like that. You're like, wait, what? I've been paying attention to serial numbers and spaceships and stuff. What are we doing? You okay, girl?
You okay?
I don't know. My thing just fell out of nowhere.
Oh no, you're having earthquakes now too.
Close to it and just slam shut. Sorry.
Either way, that's all right. That's all right. We got
I have a guest in my house.
So anyway, so Hannah blinks a little bit. It's 11-9. We go into round two. Chandru spins Star Trek, and he goes nearly perfect. He just has to go to. Oh, he's perfect, but he has to go to multiple choice for one. So all of a sudden, it's 20-9, and that was it's going to be a tough hill to climb out of. That's an interesting question. I know that the action guys always like to spin second, but there is the Kevin Smith has always said he likes to go first because he wants to put that foot on the throat, so to speak, and make it
while the momentum is still there.
So I still don't know which works more for you. Do you want to know if what hill you got to climb, or do you want to just straightforward?
Well, at that point, it just depends on what kind of competitor you are. Some people, if you get a perfect first round, you're like, you know what? The momentum's really good right now. I just want to get out of the way while the adrenaline's going. So spinning first might be a really great option for you. Versus if you're one of those people that overanalyzes and you start overthink things, you might think to yourself, oh, if I end up spinning second, I'm going to start getting over my head, trying to figure out how many points I would need in order to beat them and how much they would need in order to beat me, and etc. So it just kind of depends on the competitor.
I mean, I definitely get both arguments. I could definitely see what you're saying in a way, especially because in a case like Inner Geekdom, it always seems like they're so knowledgeable nowadays that it really does come down to who's going to blink first. And once Brandon blinked, it's like, okay, now I got to put this. I'll put the foot to the metal. What is it? Pedal to the metal, and just go. So that might be what happened there. So I mean, it worked. 20-9 almost seemed indefeatable at that point. It was like Brandon had to kick complete ass, and it's hard to do. That is what it is. So we go to Hannah. Another point, actually, I'm going to make, but I'll bring it up when we talk about Hannah, because Hannah gets DCEU, or whatever you call it nowadays.
Whatever it is now.
Next to DCEU. And he does well. He got 3, I think it was 2/3 of them, but he got one multiple choice. But the problem was he had the one answer that Chandru was able to steal. And I've heard that argument. People said that Chandru's second round were tougher questions, and Chandru got them. But Janine Machine made a great point, and I won't remember what chat it was, but I started making a point that Chandru's questions were hard, but they seem to be those kind of detailed questions that you would study. Like the year they had space travel, the name of the system. It's always those information that would pop out of you if you were going to study. Like those things,
Yes.
that's something that's going to be a question.
It's-
Whereas Brandon's question, the one he got wrong that Chandra did steal on, was the name of what kind of car did Bruce Wayne have in was it Justice League, I think, or one of those. So also it's like it was like a BMW, Mercedes Benz. It's not that kind of a question that you would like. It's not the kind of detail that you would study, but it's almost like that's the question. It's almost like a guessing question. So it's like some people say it's easier, but I would actually say it's not something you're going to study more. So to me, that was a harder question. That was a great point by Janine. I didn't really think about it when she said that, though. I was like, that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know.
It makes sense to me, too.
Alex, do you happen to agree with us?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, holy shit. We just all three of us agreed.
We all agreed on something. Shots.
On that.
I'm drunk. That's why. We're up because shit's going to hit the fan.
It is. That's why we already had the show taken down once. That might take it again. That might make it happen again. Looks like we actually have maybe a friend coming in. There's Danny here. Danny's here.
Yay!
So let me bring him here. There's Danny.
Hello.
That could be it. Alice might not have been listening to us and she's just agreeing because that.
No, it's not that. No, I thought I heard a sound back here, so it's weird. I don't know. My house is haunted. I thought I heard like a weird squeak thing. I thought the cats made. It doesn't matter.
It's the ghost.
It's the ghost in my house.
Danny, you missed a big to do. We actually got taken down.
So I saw a little bit of that. I was trying to get ready when all of that happened. So what happened? What are we not allowed to talk about right now?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We know that YouTube had said that they're like talking about half-mast again. Alex, stop it. We're talking about half-mast, and YouTube is taken down just more things that might not even be against the rules. It just happened to be that way. And because we have David B original music, so it couldn't be our music.
No.
Unless they're mad that Alex had White Claw.
I did.
Label.
I was like drinking it like.
Or it was just Alex's hot take in general.
Like
Alex being wrong so hardcore that also could be offensive.
That's why
the cat suggested it was upset that you weren't here, so that it kicked us off. Like you kept yelling without Danny. So
sorry.
So the moral of the story, we don't really know. We're gonna find out.
We don't know.
We're good here. We got our people back. We got you on board. I feel like we're a better place now. So we just started talking about Brandon and Chandru. To sum up, Brandon had a good first round, but Chandru had a perfect first round. We're just in the end of the second round where Chandru was up 21-16. Do you have anything to say about the match for the first two rounds, Danny, or do you want to just keep plowing forward?
What a bummer. I love Chandru, good on Chandru and all of that stuff. Obviously we're talking about spoilers. So good on Chandru, all of that stuff, but man, I really wanted Brandon Hanna to win this match. So
oh yeah, you did want to miss one more thing. I should put that up there. We are all rooting for the hot man.
Oh yeah, we were all rooting for that.
The hot Wonka.
Hot Wonka. Hashtag hot Wonka.
Yeah. So okay, that at that point we're down. Chandru was up 21-16. At that point, it almost seemed like inevitable. I felt badly for Brandon, but he really had to like sweep it to have a real shot, and he got us two, but then missed Negasonic, and then he missed Bravo Leader, and it was all over before it even seemed like it started. My heart broke for him because I know he's not that Chandru hasn't worked his ass off, but I know Brandon has been really, really working his ass off. So
yeah.
What's happening right now, Lucas? What?
Thank you, Mark Riley. If you're actually out there, if you're retweeting the link, that's very appreciated as always. We love Mark Riley here. So I guess we should talk about the post-match interviews.
Yes.
Now, you guys aren't wrestling fans, are any of you wrestling fans?
No.
Okay. Because what I saw this whole time through, this actually reminded me of a very classic wrestling moment. I'm going to really piss off some wrestling fans. I can't remember. It was WrestleMania 14, 13, something like that. Bret Hart versus Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the bad guy, the heel, and Bret Hart was the good guy. He was the face. In the main event at WrestleMania, they fought, and it was the most the storyline went, and they were to do it so naturally. They had what was called the first double turn. So by the end of the match, Bret Hart was the bad guy and being booed, whereas Stone Cold is 13. Thank you, Ferris. WrestleMania 13. At the end, Austin was being cheered. He came into the ring booed. He left being cheered. Bret came in being cheered, and he left being booed. I feel like that's kind of what happened. It's never been pulled off quite as good as that ever again. This magic kind of happened. I think at the end, Chandra was showing a big heel tendency, whereas
Big heel tendency.
Brandon's got to play somebody he can beat. Brandon's got to find players he can beat.
Okay, sure. I mean, like,
Here we go.
Drip, drip, drip. I'm a drip, drip guy. I'm gonna start dancing because Brandon handles us sucks. Whereas Brandon was like respectfully, he respectfully did. Chandra's a great man. It happened. He was the better man today. He beat me. It was a classic double turn at that point. And Chandra was acting like an arrogant. He was acting arrogant at the end. I mean, let's face it, he was big heel energy.
I don't know. I feel like that might be a little stretching, personally. Because maybe it was like a throwaway line and it will lead to something more. But I mean, he was like going on about how he's thanking the fans. He was just like, everyone's helping me with training and I'm so grateful. Everyone's so amazing. I'm thanking Winston. I'm thanking everyone. And it's just like, and it felt very face-like to me. I understand that line itself was it was kind of heelish. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like there's a lot of gray area where like there's more faces have like these itty-bitty heel moments, and a lot of but a lot of heels are having these itty-bitty face moments as well. So I don't feel like it's just hot and cold anymore.
It's not he is making the big turn. He's been doing a lot of things. It's okay, Brandon.
Dancing is a big turn.
You get the next one, Brandon. You get the next one. So it's just
not a turn at all.
Here we go again. Okay, Alex.
It's not a heel thing.
It's a heel thing when you're dancing on somebody's grave. Brandon showed what a face is.
When he was dancing, he wasn't. He only danced during the intro. If you're dancing on someone's grave, you're dancing like during the post interview.
Darren usually has your back, and he's saying nay. He's saying nay, tap out. Alex, you are living in denial. That's true. You are. He is. I should show her right. I should show you wrestling to show you exactly what he is.
I don't care. It don't matter.
This is, by the way, after I point this out, this is the classic Alex. I lost, but I don't want to admit I lost. And then I'm gonna go, okay, whatever. Okay, whatever. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. So
that's not a real move.
See that face right there? Look at that face. Look at that face.
That's just my face. This is just my face. And my natural face is apparently heel.
It's a good face.
Give that wig. What's that wig?
Very heel face, which is kind of counter. This is awkward, but
We have no control over them.
you know what? Hey, I think Sadi, I think you're right on the nose. Maybe my love for Chandra is clouding my judgment. I'm going into this with a very biased way because I personally, I'm an admin for his group. And so I have a very specific point of view going into this. Like I talk to Chandra more consistently. I don't talk to Haman all that much. And so going into it, I don't have that perception that Chandra could be a heel in any way, really, except for these itty bitty moments. And sure, I mean, like those itty bitty moments, sure, they can be heelish. But I mean, like, if that's the case, I would say literally any interview that Roka has, heck, Merle has had, can be heelish in their own ways. Merle has had inspired interviews where he's just like, yeah, I'm chill, but I still won. I still kicked your ass, but no big deal. That's it.
I could see Roka. Yeah, Roka.
I feel like the moment you realize it was totally off script and doing the heel thing or whatever is Winston's face when he said that. Like his face just went, oh God, and he just like healed over.
I don't remember that.
Or how about this?
If that's the case, I need to go back and rewatch it.
Or how about this?
You need to go back and rewatch it. That's fine.
Wrestling announcer, professional wrestling announcer, Jen Sturger, stopped the interview and said, I think somebody needs to learn what a face is.
Yes. That's
he pointedly said it right there.
Right there.
Somebody needs to learn a face. Chandra was supposed to be a face and he was acting as a heel.
Yeah.
That's the difference. If
Yeah.
you're supposed to be a face, you got to act like a face. And Chandru was supposed to be a face.
He's supposed to.
Now I think they're going to turn him heel because it's kind of inevitable.
You can't-
to heel.
Yeah, I feel like you can't not.
I do feel like Hannah, he definitely was very much a face in the post interviews. He was just like, you know what, I'm excited to go into this rivalry and continue it. And he was very grateful for everyone, and he's like, I'm gonna keep trying, I'm gonna do whatever I can, keep studying and everything. This is my favorite thing to do. But I felt like he was definitely a face, exiting.
That's pretty funny, Garth. I gotta give Garth credit on that one. I don't know, that's a good question. I mean, is this a 90s dance court? Can you have one person doing the Macarena? How does that work? Does it even work? I don't even know. But either way, okay, we're off the.
Is that a copyright strike or are you a strike for dancing?
I don't know. I hope not.
Who was the Macarena?
But
Oh, yeah.
well, that's that. Okay, that's the topic. I mean, I think you're going to be surprised. I think they're going to make Chandru more heel now because I think that's his tendency. He leads that way. Whether or not he's not supposed to be, but now I think they have to do it that way. Whereas Brandon's obviously they're trying to turn him face now. I mean, that was totally not anything that Brandon's ever done before. So
Perfect time to bring out the hot man officially.
Ben said that best during the Action Guys tonight. It would be a nice because he's lost a few times now. It'd be a great way to that's sometimes what happens when you lose. Sometimes you switch your gimmick up, you switch your character up, and
rebrand.
It's a rebirth, so to speak, just like the Delinquent.
Yes.
I'm just imagining Brandon Hannah singing "Lost in the Woods" from Frozen 2.
Yes. His next entrance. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Jake could clip that out. That's actually true.
Lucas was really scared of him for the first year that we were dating because he constantly thought I was mad at him. But I was like, that's just my resting face. And he's like, oh, I thought you were still like pissed at me. And I was like, no.
To be fair, I think he probably still thinks that because you could just attack him at any time. I feel like you're gonna just knife him at any second. I just always feel that way.
No, I would never just knife him at any time. He would know exactly when I would knife him.
Oh boy.
You would know.
Okay.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's my babe. That's pretty on point.
Now we're amused. Now we are amused.
That's funny.
All right. Do you have anything further to add on this match, anybody, or should we move on?
No, I'm just interested to see what happens next time we see Chandru. We're just
fair
gonna have to
enough.
see.
Fair enough. Okay.
I'm
Well, we'll
excited.
find out. We'll find out soon. He's got to have a match. Well, not soon now,
Well-
with everything going on, but
Yeah. Soon-ish.
soon as when we get back on a full round. We'll talk about that later. So, want to move on to the next match?
Yes.
All right. Well, we had Roka versus Oyama.
And I had named this video a very cute name based on that match, and then it was gone. So
I didn't even see it. What was
it said the tale of the little mountain and the bigger mountain.
that? That is true. That is funny. Did everybody see Roka? That little thing on the finger?
Yes.
That
I
was
was like,
pretty
I
funny.
know it doesn't mean.
People were really legitimately upset about that.
Yes, that's going up on Twitter like right now.
Hold on, I can just do that. Wait, hold on.
I'm saving that right now
Everyone
hold on.
needs to see that.
Just
and I'm
need to be-
tweeting it out.
You go full screen of that.
Hashtag hot Wonka.
Hot
That's
Wonka.
so funny. Hot Wonka. Thank you, Lucas. That was something very.
Damn, tweet it out.
It's a new shirt.
As for sure.
Look at that on his shirt.
Get Billy Belford to make that a shirt. Just like,
Hot
we're
Wonka.
losing the stream. We are losing the ground here.
Wonka.
All right.
Okay.
So Little Mountain versus the Big Mountain.
Yeah.
And people were actually getting very upset because Roka said that Roka meant Big Mountain in Spanish. Come on, guys. It was a fun promo. That's all it was.
Like
Not
obviously,
taking all
I
the-
liked
it's not what it does not mean big mountain in Spanish.
No.
Obviously
like,
means the fourth. It obviously means the fourth biggest mountain in Spanish.
It means the fourth thing. Oh,
Yeah.
Paul. Too
Calm down.
soon.
John Roka, you know I love you. But I went. So we went into this match with Roka and Oyama, and it played out pretty. honestly, it played out pretty much how I kind of thought it might go if Roca concentrated on Oyama. They both had a great first round, but Oyama blinked. He had missed out on the Christopher Lloyd question. Judge who played Judge Doom and Roger Rabbit. But that was a sad one for me. I knew that one. But I grew up in the 80s. I don't know if everyone else knew that one. I kind of feel like it might be a generational thing, maybe. Did you guys know the answer to that question?
Nope, I didn't.
Okay. Which question?
Who played Judge Doom in Roger Rabbit?
I've never seen it.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah, that's the Christopher Lloyd question.
Lloyd question.
Yeah, no, I did know that one. I'm sorry. I thought you asked something else.
Right.
I think I did guess Christopher Walken.
That's a very different Chris.
But it doesn't
very different
look like him.
Now it's like, I don't know.
So if it answered that question, that's why they should have been drafted.
Clearly, they knew
why they should have been drafted.
True.
Somebody draft them.
So Roca gets the Dewberry Plus. He gets the bonus question as well. So we went on to round 2. Oyama spins SNL, but then declines to take it. Does anybody know what SNL movies are? I mean, is it like do you have to have the SNL brand? Like
listen, they haven't apparently they haven't clarified that. Yeah. So okay. no one's actually actively selected it, but also even Harloff and Ellis, they've even mentioned that, they haven't really even admitted to either. If it's just movies such as Fever Pitch with Jimmy Fallon and, right. Other SNL former cast members, or if it's like SNL specific movies like Coneheads that are based off of SNL sketches.
Sketches.
Right.
Yeah. In that case, there's less than 15 movies. So it's very, very different kind of thing. So
some people are saying it seems like it's definitive. I mean, I haven't heard either way. I would think it would be.
They haven't admitted that, Garth.
I was it on Backstage or on the guy stream? One of them somewhere somebody said that there's not been clarification to at least players yet.
I mean, it's true that otherwise, if it wasn't, there'd be just thousands of movies. It'd be kind of a
no. There wouldn't be thousands. It would be.
Sure, there would. Eddie Murphy's had a bunch of movies. Mike Myers had a bunch of movies. I mean, anybody who's been in Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, a lot of MCU movies with RDJ, because he was on SNL for a season.
Yep,
that's true. All of that would count.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime. I mean,
news movies with Anthony Michael Hall.
It could be anything. I mean, anybody who ever appeared. Could it be someone who hosted Saturday Night Live? I mean, technically, that's ridiculous. But
I think it's going to be the sketches. But like I said, I also they've clarified that per se. But I would assume that would be the only way to do it because you're right. It would be insane.
Similar to Nora Ephron as well, because she's helped co-write. She's helped penning a lot of the script for almost 30, 40 movies, but she's directed less than 10. And so there's some and Nora Ephron has been spun once, but it still wasn't 100% clarified.
Right.
So
I'm gonna assume until we hear differently. I would assume that it would be these sketches, just the sketches.
Yeah, but no one's taken it yet. No one wants to yet.
Yeah.
But we didn't find out today because Oyama spun away from it. So instead, he went with the YA adaptions that Alex Mack is very excited about. How well did you do, Alex?
I actually did pretty solid.
Did you do solid?
It's one of my stronger categories too, I realize, which I'm kind of embarrassed about, but yet I'm not. It's fine.
Well, and the last question, which Roca even that Roca ended up stealing, I personally
wild guess
reaction. I guess I was like Louisiana because it's a Cajun family. It's a whole thing in the movie where it's Cajun. They're from a Cajun family. They're from a Cajun state that just moved there, and it's a whole thing. And I read the book's Beautiful Creatures way back in the day, and I was in high school. But I remember it dominantly being there. But thing is, it was also filmed in Louisiana, even though it's set in South Carolina. Okay. But also the characters, they moved halfway, a quarter of the way through the movie from Louisiana to there. So that's why it was kind of iffy. So then that's why I guess Louisiana.
That's true, but they're not always the same. So
it helps though. It does help significantly. I feel
it can help a little bit, but not always.
True. Fair enough. Fair enough. That is the answer. Brendan Buckingham, when Roka's soul left his body, he got very excited, very excited when he got that answer correct. But that was a big pull. That's a big swing right there. And also they made it 13-11 at that point. So then Roka spins Matt and Ben, which is one of I like that category. I like that one quite a lot. Damon and Affleck. Even though we don't have a specific on that as well, but I figure it's any movie that stars Affleck or Damon, or is it directed by Damon or directed by Affleck?
I thought it had to be movies where they co-star together. That's what I initially thought.
I don't think that ended up being the case.
Yeah,
though,
exactly. That's why I was like, oh, surprised.
So I remember specifically the Damon being directed by George Clooney question, which I knew was different. And then Affleck was not in that one. So, but Roka did well with that. But Oyama misses his chance to steal. I forgot what the question was on that. But either way, I mean, everybody remembers it. So it was down 16-13. And it just seemed like it was well within Oyama's reach.
It was
round
close.
3. And then round 3 happened.
Yep.
Gets his 2, misses his 3, and misses his 5. Roka gets a TKO. There is a thread out there. Somebody has said that Oyama should have challenged the third question, or the 3-point question, because the answer being Ellis Island, it was about what place in New York do they go, and Ellis Island is at least partially or mostly in New Jersey. So I don't know if that would have been a good challenge or not. I don't know how. Sometimes people say they would challenge it. I'm like, well,
yeah.
Sometimes it's worth it, because even if you are partially wrong, if they don't want to deal with it or not sure how to check it, they'll just give you a question or something.
Bateman is the perfect example. He totally bullshit his way through a couple of challenges at one point or another. So I would say it's always worth a challenge if it's good. So, but that's on him and the manager. No one said anything. So
yeah,
I mean,
very true.
So, but yeah, that was a sad part. And then so Roka wins. Roka gets a TKO. But I will say that even though he was TKO'd, I think Oyama has shown a lot of grit, a lot of heart. He came back from getting his ass kicked by Ben in Spectacular, did well with a team match, and I think he did a good showing against Roka. So I think how do you like his character now that he switched his character up? Have you guys been liking the new Oyama?
I like the new Oyama.
As I call him, the new old Oyama, really. This is actually more genuinely. This seems like more genuinely Paul Oyama.
Yeah. No, I'm liking it a lot. I think it's a good change.
I like him in that. No sunglasses, no leather jacket. I like it.
Yeah, I hope he just embraces Sweet Baby Paul. I hope he finally embraces the nickname that I have given him for many, many years now. Sweet Baby
Paul.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever embrace that.
I would.
I think he's more likely to embrace Drying Baby.
Yeah.
Remember that
one?
He
did embrace Drying Baby.
He did embrace Drying Baby. That's true. Want to know about that? Go watch the Action Movie Anatomy episode with Children of Men, and that's the chat there. That's you'll get that. But you know, at the end, another thing we should talk about real quick, at least touch base on the final scene, the cutscene with Jen and Paul Oyama. That was it was very nice. You always wonder because it is a directed thing. I mean, we know that there was definitely some actual real life tension there.
There was some real,
especially between Paul and a lot of people. And Jen called him out on Facebook.
Yep.
So if this was genuinely meant, a genuine thing, then that is awesome. And I really hope that's the case. I really hope that Paul's got made amends, that people have taken that to heart, and that steps have been made. And yeah, Chris, it was great seeing Jen in a cutscene. But did anybody? I'm just curious if anybody here or in the chat, did anybody question the genuinity of it at all, or did you take it for face value?
Ultimately, I watched that cutscene twice actually, because I wanted to watch it. The first time I watched it, I immediately kind of thought oh, is this just to kind of just put a damper on that so that Paul can do this new face more welcoming, happy turn. But then when I rewatch it, I'm like, no, I think whether it's as much of amends as it seems or not, I think there's a truce at least, and they did that to kind of just put an end to that whole era, if that makes sense. So.
No, Jake, I said genuinity. That's a hard word to say, genuinity. But anyway. And Danny or Alex, any thoughts on that at all?
I mean, it's pretty spot on. I do feel like I came from a very specific, genuine place. You know, I think it's really there to help solidify how Oyama is a face. But also, I'm really kind of curious if, you know, Jen might be towards the end of the season. Maybe we'll have a manager fall out and Jen might end up like taking the place or something along those lines. Who knows? Or taking on maybe more of an advisory role similar to Grace or Jay, potentially. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Never gonna turn out no more Jen.
Actually, I
Exactly.
think
Love Jen.
Yeah,
I love
more
Jen.
Jen.
Also. I think Chris was a good point. This is kind of where I sit. I kind of wonder if this was like a Christian saying, you know what, we know there's a beef there. We want to get this passed. So let's like throw it in there. But perhaps at the same time, Jen embraced and said, you know what, Paul did try. Let's make it work. So maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of forced truce that they go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was important to have Jen do that with Paul because a few people know from just behind the scenes stuff and Facebook stuff about how vocal Jen was about the whole situation. So I think having Jen do that scene with Paul adds a little bit more validity to it. So it just kind of gives it a little bit more weight to show that Paul is trying to change as a person and as a character inside of the Schmodown, and that the Schmodown crew is embracing it and allowing him to make those amends. So I think that it was a good scene, definitely a good scene to have. So
yeah, Jen is a great actress and I love her. But I also know she's very true to herself and stuff. I think if she wasn't okay with it, she wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So the fact that she's involved in it all shows it has to be at least somewhat genuine.
Yeah.
Very good point. Very good point. So give me that. Okay. Anything further in that match?
Nope. No. It was a good match. It was a solid match. This whole season every match has been very entertaining and interesting, and it's been a great season. And now I'm sad because we have to space them out more because of stuff. So
yeah,
it's actually something that I want. Good night, Ed. Have a good night. I do think that this is actually what I was going to talk about and some more research I did. Now, Christian has kind of said we're stepping back. We're trying to space things out. We have a certain amount of matches filmed. They obviously can't film any right now and not for the foreseeable future. For how long, we don't know.
Yep.
From what I've heard, I don't know if this is me talking behind the scenes or if I've heard this on a stream or something, but they do cut down to one match a week like the plan was. We have about 8 weeks. There's about 8 matches that are filmed. I've heard that. I don't know if that's a completely valid number or not. Somebody else has heard, let me know. But I think we should talk about what matches we know about. I don't know what's filmed and what's not, but we do have some guesstimates on it, I think. Matches that I've come up with when I did some research yesterday, looking at some things last night. I think there's one match that I know was filmed, and that will be Robert Parker versus Ace Cabrera. So I know that's a match we're getting. And I think, and I'm 99% sure, and I don't know if this one has been announced yet or not, but I think next week we're supposed to be getting the Pride, Ben Goddard and Rachel Silvestrini versus the Butcher Boys, Elwood Mugen and Vinny Mancuso.
I remember that was filmed on Kaiser's birthday.
That was definitely filmed. I was 99% sure. I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
I think next week. Okay.
It was.
So that's 2 out of our 8.
Yeah. I remember sending Rachel like a bazillion and one questions.
Right. I do remember that now. I think about it.
Yeah, I was like sending her and she's like, awesome, I'll review them right before the match. And I was like, oh shit. And then it was Kaiser's birthday, so shit hit the fan.
As it does.
It was a fun night apparently. So
now other matches that have been announced. Now, there's a couple of matches that have been announced but aren't going to happen. They definitely weren't filmed. Like Kevin versus Mara was announced, but then Mara's health issues took place. That wasn't going to happen. Obviously, Andrew Guy and Kalinowski was going to take place in Houston, so that's not going to happen. Corruption versus Founding Fathers. I got to believe that hasn't taped yet, because I got to believe that would be something they were going to save for a big live event anyway, for the championship match.
Yeah, I would think it's not filmed.
But so that leaves us with a couple of matches still left here. Christian talked about the Hurricane, Hader Paramo versus Brittany Young from Glow. I think that was the way that Christian was talking. I kind of feel like that was taped, but I don't know. We got Who's the Boss versus The Odd Couple, which I thought was taped, but I don't know entirely for certain as far as I can say. But also we got Claudia Dahl versus Eric Barnes, The Warfather, Jen Kemp versus Marisol McKee.
Okay.
And then the two ones I don't know about for sure, Josh McCougar versus Elliot Dewberry, but I don't know if that was more of a wannabe match, a hopeful match kind of thing. Maybe it wasn't actually done. And then finally, the one I really think must have been filmed. I gotta say it's been filmed. Roca versus Irwin, because Roca beating Paul he was supposed to face the winner of Irwin Snyder, and Irwin won that match.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like that one was taped. And I mean, we're going to build up to that one. I think if Christian does it right, because that's the big match. Because whoever wins that goes on to face Mr. Merle.
Yep.
So, any thoughts on which ones maybe are going to be seeing and not going to be seeing?
I figure like the first matchups, like not where the competitors won and then moving on. I think those ones are filmed. You know what I mean? For the most part, like the round one matches.
Right.
So like with Brittany and everything like that. With so I think those ones are for sure. I don't know how many sequential matches have been filmed though. I would think those are the ones that probably hadn't gotten to yet.
Okay. All right. Any thoughts, Danny, on that?
I think that I really want to see John Roca versus Dan Merle again. That's definitely one that I would absolutely love to see. So I hope that no matter what happens, we can figure out a way to get that match going on.
Fair enough. Let's see. Got here. Yeah, Garth. That one already aired. So that one definitely was taped. That one definitely aired.
It aired several weeks ago.
Dewberry McCougar going to be the Houston undercard. That's not what I had heard. I think Christian had said it was going to be a title match. It was going to be the undercard, so I don't think that's the case. That's why I think that's a chance that Dewberry and McCougar were filmed, possibly. But again, I don't know. Let's see.
I'm not gonna lie. I really wouldn't care about a Merle Roca match.
No.
I love them both individually. I think they're fantastic competitors. Is it gonna happen? Obviously, at some point. I'm just so
over it.
Obviously. It's just like, duh. I mean, yeah, because obviously founding fathers and need more points, and Finstock Exchange, they definitely need more points. It's just like, come on, man, just spread it around a little bit. Come on.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. I know there's a lot of people who brought this up.
This is like the fourth time it's happened.
At the same time, it's like they've earned it. I mean, I was a Red Sox fan.
But I understand that they earned it, but I don't care. It's just like I want to see more blood. I want to see new teams that I'm not familiar with. I'm waiting for all these new fantastic competitors that we have been heard so much about. Like, I'm dying to see Parker finally debut. When the fuck was that going to happen?
Well, that's true. But at the same time,
we've heard about all these awesome new competitors, yet we've barely had a handful of rookie matches. So it's kind of frustrating that we've only really seen a lot of these competitors we've already seen before. Yet this
the way to spread the love,
new competitor,
is for people to play better, for people to challenge them and knock them out of the picture. If Oyama had beaten Roca, thank you, Brandon.
they're not rookie competitors.
If Oyama had beaten Roca, it would be Oyama versus Irwin, and the winner would face Merle then. I mean, it's just they keep winning. That's the thing. It's like the Yankees. Like when I said I was a huge Red Sox fan, the Yankees kept kicking our ass in the late 90s. I got fucking sick of it. I'm like, God damn the fucking Yankees. Well, you know what? The Yankees keep winning because they were better than us at that point. And that's what happens. You gotta.
Okay, and also Lucas, I just do want to clarify up here is that it's not so much like he doesn't deserve to win. He absolutely does deserve to win. He deserves to win, and all of his matches have been awesome. You can guarantee every Merle match he's in is fantastic. Thing is, I know going into it he's gonna win.
But so he shouldn't play.
Alex, the Heat.
So he shouldn't play because he didn't win.
When he went up against Bateman, I was like, I love you, Bateman, but obviously it's going to be Morrill. When he goes up against Roca, I'm like, Roca, you're one of my top 5 players of all time. Sorry, but it's going to be Morrill. Against any other competitor, I'm sorry, you're not going to win. It's Morrill.
So you're saying that Dan Morrill shouldn't be allowed to play.
No, I think he should. It's just so obvious that he's going to win every fucking time. He doesn't
Then beat him.
every single time. He
Then
wins.
beat him. Get somebody together and beat him. Bateman came close to beating him.
No one can beat him, it feels like.
Bateman came very close to beating him. Bateman was,
And he didn't.
you're right, he didn't. So Bateman's got to suck it up, and Bateman's got to go back and
I love
make
that
it
match, yet it didn't happen.
But it is what it is. You can't blame Dan. If Dan's going to win, he gets to play. It's that simple. That's what a sport is.
That's why. It's just like
People get sick of the winners.
it's like the whole Tom Brady situation. He's been so good for so long. I'm like,
So beat him.
duh, they're gonna have like 5 or 6, however many.
So beat him.
It's Tom Brady.
So beat him. The Giants beat him. It's going to happen eventually. Isn't that going to be great? Isn't that going to be great when Dan actually does lose? I mean, not that I want Dan to lose, but like that moment where somebody does talk. I mean, Burrow's lost before.
Hey, Mark. Okay. Another 5 seasons in order for him to finally lose? Are we gonna have to wait that long, that much buildup in order for him to finally lose?
I mean, he's lost before. I mean, let's not say. I mean, he has lost before. Roca beat him.
Oh wow, once.
I mean,
Like
Dan
years
beat him. I
ago.
mean, not Dan. Christian beat him. Mark didn't beat him, but Christian beat him. Mark, you should come back, Mark. You should have. I would pay to see Mark come back and do that. There you
Mark,
go.
I love and respect you.
Hey, one more thing. Brady says one more thing.
It's moral. Who can you say is at the same level, exact same level as Morrill?
Andrew Guy is 1-0 against him.
Under him.
Andrew Guy is 1-0 against him, and he TKO'd him. So anything can happen.
And Guy, I love Guy. That's one of my favorite matches of all time. Even Guy said it. That will never happen again. And he even calls it kind of a potential fluke.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it being a fluke on this channel. With the way it happened. But I mean, I don't listen. I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. But the case is, that's what the sport is. You have to have somebody that's going to have to beat him at some point, and that's the challenge. You want somebody to face him and beat him. Roca beat him. So having Roca face Morrill,
I want someone to beat him so bad because I'm so bored with Morrill fucking winning.
Well, then again,
Morrill earns it. He deserves every win that he does because he is so fantastic whenever he wins. He puts on like the best performance. He gives us the best matches. But that being said, every time, no matter what, he wins no matter what.
I love how Alex is just pissed that Dan Morrill is a great competitor.
Dan is so good.
Pissed at that.
Real drama because of it.
No, it's understandable, and you totally get that because everyone does kind of go into any match that Dan Morrill has with that sort of mentality behind it, like, oh well, it's Dan, so
exactly. I mean, every
probably gonna win
potentially. They're like, Bateman. He's like, yeah, I'm going to try my hardest. I'm going to give the best match ever, but it's Dan Morrill.
But you know what? You need
an undercard as a defending champion.
Let me slide this in here. Dan Morrill is amazing. I know. I realize when I said it, I kind of heard it, and it's not good phrasing. I get it, but I gotta say one of the best things now. This is not a heel face talk, but every
do my best.
Good sport has every good sport needs like a villain for your hero to beat. I brought up the Yankees Red Sox again. When the Yankees kicked the Red Sox out. Hold on. Let me finish. You're right. When the Yankees played the Red Sox in 2003, it was the most heartbreaking loss in Red Sox history. Heartbreaking. I got on my floor in a field position and cried. That's how upset I was when they lost. But that made 2004, when the Red Sox came back from down 0-3 in the ALCS, It never been done in baseball history. They came back and beat the Yankees. They finally toppled Mount Olympus. It made it so much better and so much greater. And Merle actually.
What I'm hearing here is that I have to wait like 5 fucking years in order for that to happen. If Dan Merle is the ultimate face, he is the Luke Skywalker of the world of Schmoedown. He is the ultimate safe. He's never gonna lose because he's Dan fucking Merle, which he is. Absolutely. He is arguably the best Schmoedown competitor we've ever seen. And I'm not arguing that. But thing is, where is his counterpart to go actively against him head to head? It's not Moroka. It's not Bateman.
I think it is Bateman.
And they're way up there. They're like some of the best competitors of all time. But who is going to be his?
I think right now Ben Bateman could be that person.
Who is the ultimate heel to his ultimate face? The ultimate heel that is just as good in every way to go up against the ultimate face.
Alex, I feel like you're going to give us an answer. Who is it? Who is it, Alex? Tell us.
We don't have one. That's the problem. We don't have anyone to compare to him because he is on such a ridiculous, stupid, high level of majestic knowledge.
Well, we can turn Bateman heel again, and then Bateman will be right there with him because I honestly think Bateman is right there with Dan at this point. Any given time, Bateman could beat
Bateman. He's one of the top 5 competitors right now of all time. I don't know about all time, but he's definitely
right now.
Yeah, right now. However, again, but Bateman even said that, and he's like, yeah, I'm confident going into a lot of other competitors. It's never a given, but I'm confident going into a lot of these other competitors. I can never be that confident going up against Merle.
And that's rightfully so. But that's part of the magic of him.
We don't have anyone to challenge Merle on any level, and that's what's kind of frustrating.
You saying that though, but Ben brought him to sudden death.
But he's also a face.
Okay, but Ben could be a heel too. So you never know.
I would love for him to be heel, but he's not.
Okay, well you're talking 2 different things. You're talking about this.
I want someone to be his not Darth Maul. What's his name? Darth
Vader.
I want someone to be his Darth Vader to the Luke Skywalker.
Oh my god. Oh.
I need someone just as bad. I'm not even entering this.
Ben is many things, but Ben is not a face.
Exactly. Well, even though he's a very face right now, he's the face's face we are ever going to get from Ben, I think. But again, there's no one that's like a heel version of Merle. There's no one who actively can go head to head against him on that high level. Unfortunately, people are going to sure as fuck try, but we just don't have one on that level. Okay, Mark, tell me, am I wrong? Please tell me.
Fair enough. I don't know if I can talk anymore about that because first of all, you brought up Darth Maul before you brought up Darth Vader. I don't know who's ever done that in history of mankind.
Darth Sidious, and I'm like, obviously that's not correct. No one cares if I have knowledge. I'm not a competitor. Who cares about that? No one cares about my knowledge. I don't care about Star Wars.
You're breaking my heart. You're walking down a path I can't follow.
Fine. I don't care about.
Maybe Alex. Maybe you're the heel we need to face Dan Merle.
I would get knocked out in round 1 if that were possible. I would get a 0 out of 8.
Well, you know what? No, maybe it could be Andrew Guy. Maybe Andrew Guy is the heel that we keep going back to. He's beat him before. He can do it again. Probably not. But
Andrew Guy doesn't even believe you. He hasn't even said it. He's like, yeah, that was like probably one of the greatest moments I've ever had in my Schmoedown career, but I might not ever beat him again.
Actually, my good question. What is Alice's opinion on sand?
It's so wet.
It gets everywhere.
Of course, it gets everywhere.
It's so easy to clean.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus.
Oh boy.
Sweet baby Jesus. You always make me speechless, Alex. I'll give you that. You drive me to drink. My liver thanks you. Well, actually, probably doesn't thank you.
Your liver's not happy about it.
Trying to get you to drink more in here. That's it. That's my purpose here on Call Life.
Oh.
All right, that's where we are. That's where we are. I think we can move on now safely from that. And I don't even know how we got on this conversation. There's all Roka. We're talking about Roka.
Roka.
Who you want to win?
And
I'm gonna be honest. Like this whole conversation might be moot. This whole conversation might be moot because I actually think Erwin will probably beat Roka. That's my prediction on that one anyway. I think Erwin's gonna beat Roka pretty bad.
The whole conversation was for nothing.
And when that happens, we'll look back at this lost 15 minutes. I drove Alex off the stream. I am victorious. I have drove Alex off the stream.
I have to go to the bathroom, guys. Come down. There's a lot of White Claw over here. Okay, whatever.
Wash your hands.
wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands. Wash your ass. Wash everything, as they say. As Christian says on.
There's videos.
You know what?
Chat, what songs are y'all singing while you wash your hands? Let us know.
Has anyone timed the rules for one of the rounds? Is it long enough so you can just like memorize the rules and
We can actually wash our hands to Mark Ellis telling us the rules.
Yes,
That's so good.
That could actually work. I actually like that.
I actually love that. That's how I'm gonna memorize the rules while I'm washing my hands.
gotta help you, Dan.
Genuinely appreciate that.
No, I've literally been counting and because I can't think of anything.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to go every digit.
5, 6,
Yeah.
7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No.
Yep, I know the reference.
5, 7, 8.
One.
So anyway, I think we can start. Alex and jump back in with you. Christian actually talked about. I think it was on backstage. Thank you, Mark. I love that idea. You just get that on a loop. We will record that while we're washing it. Did you wash your hands, Alice? That's what we want to know.
I did.
And did you think of Mark Ellis telling you the rules as that's how long you had to wash your hands?
I counted. I didn't count. I sang happy birthday twice. Does that count?
Well, that's what we're doing now. We're going to all wash our hands to Mark Ellis telling us the rules. So
Happy birthday, dear Juno.
Protection cat.
Every time I wash my hands, my cat decides that's like the perfect time to get pet.
Oh, yeah.
And so she starts like meowing at me and like going like intertwining between my legs and everything. And I'm like, damn it, cat, I just want to wash my hands. I don't want fluff on them.
That would be great. I like that. The new rules. We're actually going to start creating more rules for them to put in the guidebook. I like that.
Yep.
Very nice.
All right. Anyway, on backstage, they also mentioned the road to the tag team title. I look at it. It's almost like they drew a little tournament style thing. We had the Real Rejects beating Cuckoo's Nest, or Cuckoo's Mess.
Cuckoo's Mess.
Who's going to face
Cuckoo's
the
Mess.
winner of Slap the? The Pride versus the Butcher Boys. Now, Deep 13 is going to face Final Exam. And then the winners face each other. The winners of that face Shazam. The winners of that face the winner of Who's the Boss and the Odd Couple for the #1 contendership to face either the Corruption or the Founding Fathers. So that is our teams that have a shot at the title right now in the near future when we get back on track. Real Rejects, Pride, Butcher Boys, Deep 13, Final Exam, Shazam, Who's the Boss, the Odd Couple. Which one of those teams do we see facing? Let's just go down the thing. You can just go around right here.
Okay.
Den versus Butcher Boys. Any idea? Any guesses?
The dead.
I'm going to say the Den.
Remind me again, who's Butcher Boys?
Vinny Mancuso and Owen from the dungeon. The two new guys. It's hard to tell.
In that case, definitely the Den.
Only done?
The Pride.
Pride. Yep,
Yeah.
Pride.
Slap the card.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it.
Slap. Yep.
Den's Pride.
Yeah.
All right. So then, Real Rejects or the Den or the Pride?
Pride.
Pride versus the Real Rejects.
Yeah, I'd say the Pride still.
You said the Pride. I said the Real Rejects are a sneaky team.
Man,
They are. That is true.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they'll go all like I'm not saying how far they'll go, but I wouldn't just automatically say the Dun. Although I would still side with the Dun. But Greg Humphrey specifically just has this magic. That just every once in a while.
Ben Humphries.
I'm
Greg
sorry,
Alba.
Greg Alba, John
Alba
Humphries.
and
Greg Humphries, yeah. John Humphries, yes, thank you. So that's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be a fun match too, because Real Rejects are a fun team. I feel like they're studying enough times. I think they deserve a run at some point, maybe. But I still, if I had to pick, I'd say the Pride. But we'll have to find out. Go ahead.
Were you gonna say finish?
No, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I think that that's gonna be a really fun match, a really great match.
Take care, Mark.
Come
Thank
in.
you for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Bye, Mom.
And yes, we always have Bud Lights for you. Anytime,
Yeah.
Mark.
Oh, man. I think that the Pride versus Real Rejects is going to be a great match. It's going to be a lot of fun, hilarious. I bet it's going to be super funny. But I would not be surprised at all if the Real Rejects walk away with the win from that one.
Mm-hmm.
I would.
You would.
I would.
So you think the Pride, no doubt, Pride.
Well, I mean, if I had to put money down, it's just that, I mean, the Real Rejects, I mean, their last win, it was a huge win. It was such a fantastic win against the Cougars Press. And, you know, they have been an established team for a while, but it wasn't until recently they've been vocal about actively studying, you know, versus, so it's a very new thing for them. And hypothetically, maybe they've been starting to actively study for about a year and a half now, who knows? But at the same time, you know, it's, you know, Rachel and Ben that have been actively studying for longer. And
Real Rejects have been together for a long time. That's the thing. Real Rejects have been a team, and they've been a partner forever.
Well, that's the thing. They have been partners for a long time, but also they have very similar strengths and weaknesses. Versus Rachel and Ben, they are like opposites, which would make sense for them to be better as a team because they both have very different strengths and weaknesses that really balance each other out.
But they also don't have the chemistry yet, maybe. I mean, I don't know if they do or not.
Yeah, that's true. Chemistry is a lot to do with it. Absolutely.
And I personally think that Rachel and Ben have a lot more in common than you might think that they do. I think that a lot of their strengths are going to be very similar, and I think that's why that's what's going to help them work well as a team with each other, because they can be confident in the areas that they do study with each other. But I do think that Alex is saying is what's going to give the Real Rejects the advantage in the game, because they have played together. They have already played together and in tense situations, and they've played solo, so they can really depend on themselves for.
How many matches have they played total?
I'm sorry.
How many matches have they played total?
Real Rejects?
5, maybe.
3 or 4. I don't know.
They've been together since like season 2, and they only have had like 5 matches.
Yeah.
Total?
They don't play an awful lot. That's the thing.
That's true.
They play like once a season because they lose. They're like now like 2 and 6 or something.
They
I
are.
mean, don't get me wrong, they're improving, but
But at the same time,
but let's be realistic. 7 matches, 2 and 5.
Yeah.
but
But the performance that they had in this last match that they had against 2 competitors that are arguably extremely strong, so they held themselves really well against Cuckoo's Mess. So I loved watching them as a team together, but I think that match also showed that they're getting stronger as competitors in their studying, and I have faith in it. But I still would absolutely love to see the Pride continue and move on, because they're a great team. I would love to see Rachel and Ben go and succeed, because I want to see Rachel do well with a partner that does well with her. So
also something to consider is that the Pride, there are 2 competitors that are very vocal about how seriously they take it. They invest a lot of time and energy going into this.
Mhm.
And we just don't know as much about the setting practice and everything that kind of goes into the Real Rejects in particular. That's why I say it. We know more about the training schedules, how intense they have been, how vocal they have been about working together and trying to be cohesive as a unit. We don't hear very much about, about Real Rejects outside of, their own channel. And that's, I mean, it's awesome. And
True,
they've been together, that chemistry. It's just, how often do they
say they were?
Anything? We don't know.
They did say they've been training a lot.
Yep.
And the last match they TKO'd Cuckoo's Mess.
Yeah, and that wasn't a great team, but that doesn't matter.
That's not a great team. You don't think that?
That's
on
not
Video Drew.
Yeah, I
Video
say that with
Drew and
love.
whatnot.
I mean, I chat with her every single day, but she
You gotta go with her.
They scored like over 30 points. They scored a lot of points though too.
Yeah.
They scored a lot of points. I mean, I'm just saying that I it's like
I mean,
I
they're a
can't-
fine team. I mean, they're gonna get better. That's what I hope.
discount.
It's. I don't feel like they're. I mean, they're not a great team yet.
But here's the thing, Real Reggie. I don't think you keep talking about them being they're 2-6, 2-5. Yeah, but the 2-5 went back when they were very beginning. I mean, they like Ben and Drew. We just watched them facing Nerds Watch, and they were horrible. They were awful when they first began.
Should we just disregard their entire history of losing?
You can when they begin them. Like, I don't look at team action. I don't think of their first match against the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
Well,
Game
the first
action's
match,
grown.
I feel about Ben Bateman now versus Ben Bateman when he scored 4 in the
So
first
in that
round.
case, you just completely get rid of their prior history every single season.
Not necessarily completely, but at the
If
same
they-
time,
if they change every
I
season,
would be more toward
change their new character, if they change their intensity getting into the season, if by that alone, we should just reset their entire history.
But they've shown it. It's not that I'm saying every season just reset, but the last match they played were over 30 points and they TKO'd somebody.
Oh!
Thank you. Ben Bateman scored 4 points in the first round in his first match. I don't think about that anymore. I think about Ben Bateman going up against Dan Merle and taking him to sudden death. Totally different characters. Totally different.
Exactly.
It's not reset every time.
I would totally be okay with
But I'm
them.
going to lean more towards Ben
Okay,
Bateman this year. If Ben Bateman's going up against somebody next week, I'm going to think more about what he's done recently than what he did
Sure.
back in 2015.
Sure. Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. Real Rejects only have 7 matches, but a lot of those were like 2015, 16, 17. Their most recent match.
Their
just saw
characters
them do well.
have changed. Their characters have changed. Their characters have changed. They're with completely different factions. They're not on the same teams and everything. However, the Real Rejects have been on the same team since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They're not branching into singles. They haven't separated into different factions. They haven't changed storylines. They haven't even changed whether or not they're heel or face or anything. They're the exact same as the beginning. They're like the Wildberries.
But they're better playing.
Consistencies of Schmodown. So
they're playing better though.
I mean, so we can't really disregard it versus like with Ben Bateman, so much has happened to him as a competitor that we can admit that.
No, the same thing has happened. They've gotten better. That's a basic thing. You start out one way, you're better now. That's the same thing. You're talking about character changes. That's completely irrelevant.
We don't have enough of a change for the Real Rejects to say big enough change. We see them so rarely, we can't really say it.
Sure, you can. You got to go by the most recent knowledge you have. The most recent knowledge we have is that the Real Rejects showed up, scored over 30 points in this league, in this question base. They scored over 30 points, and they TKO'd Video Drew and Rick Hong, who played a good match. They still TKO'd them. I'm just saying that you can't. The team that lost to ETC or whatever way back in 2015 is not the same team that's facing the Den now. It's a team that has improved. They've said they're studying more. They've shown they're studying more. But they've shown they're studying more. They've said they're studying more, and they proved it.
Yeah, you can still be improving slowly but surely.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're a great team. You can be studying intensely and slowly get improving, but doesn't mean you're a great competitor.
I never said they're great. I'm not saying they're going to win the fucking belt. I'm saying that they're going to step up to the Den, and it could be a good match, and I wouldn't be surprised if they give the Den a good run. I still think the Den's going to win. But I think at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be. You said you'd be surprised or shocked if the Real Rejects won.
I wouldn't
be shocked. I think it's going to be a good match. I do think the Den will win, or the Pride will win. But I do think that you're rejecting the Real Rejects
No,
That's
I
impressive.
think they're a solid team. I
See that
think
in
they're solid, but by no means. There would be if they're an ABC team, they're a C team to me.
A C team, you said?
They're a C team.
Real rejects. Okay.
But also, I rate like I have A, B, C, or D. That's how I rate them. They've had 2-3 wins out of what 7 or 8 matches.
But
Cool.
again, it's like
Over like 5 seasons. They lose so hard every single time up until this
but
one.
the last time when they studied and they won 30 points and they TKO their opponent.
The one time they started studying. Okay.
Yeah.
Versus like a team that have been actively vocally about studying
Who's never played one match yet?
2 years.
Who haven't even played one match yet?
Yeah.
Not one match. Not
No,
zero,
they don't play
zero
them.
matches together.
Yeah.
Not
They
one
don't play
match.
singles.
Not one match.
They've played in singles, but they haven't played together as a team. And that's kind of my whole point. Is just you can't take them out. It's supposed to be.
You're right, Kelsey.
It's
You're
okay.
right.
I love you guys.
You know what?
doing
I'll
this so
never come on Call Live again. You're right. I'll talk. I'll come on Call Live. I'm not needed here.
You are definitely needed here.
I'm
I like Lucas'
not-
suggestion.
Yeah.
What are we gonna
I'm
fight
not
about,
needed
Danny?
here. I'll just this is my last one, guys. This is my last one ever coming on Call Live.
That means I win. And you can't have that.
I won't be here to admire said win, so it doesn't matter. Good point.
All right. Anyway. So then let's move on to Deep 13 versus Final Exam. I think it's going to be another awesome match myself.
I think it's gonna be good. I think Deep 13 has it.
You think Deep 13 has it?
I do.
Wow.
I have a lot of faith in Deep 13.
I love 13.
I love them too.
I highly enjoy Deep 13 too, but I do. Wow. I'm just surprised you're so quick to that one.
I don't know. It's just a feeling.
Okay.
I don't prefer one team over the other per se. I don't know.
I like them both. Danny, do you have a thought? You didn't seem to be quick to judge.
I think I really enjoyed Deep 13 as a team.
Mhm.
They're super fun, but I like Final Exam, and I think Final Exam is going to take it.
My initial gut instinct, and my gut is prodigious, I did think it was going to be Final Exam. That was my initial thought. But I do like Deep 13 a lot as well. I think he can go either way. And that's when I would say I would not be surprised if it went either way.
Mhm.
But I do feel like Paul and Lon have something special. I don't know, but maybe Deep 13 does too. It's gonna be that's a match I really want to see. That's one I do really, really want to see. So, well, at that point, it'd be the Pride versus Deep 13 or Final Exam. That's where it gets dicey for me. That's where it gets dicey for me. I love the Pride. I love Rachel. I think Rachel and Ben are going to be good together. That'll be a very, very tough challenge for them to face, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
I would love to see Rachel take that next step. Ben, I don't know enough about. Goddard, I've only seen play the one match. I don't really. I'm interested to see how he plays in the team format. I want to say I'd lean towards Final Exam because they have more. Well, they don't though. They don't have much more experience as far as they've only played the one match together so far either. So, God, that's a hard one. I'm gonna shut up for a second. You guys talk about it.
I think that it could go either. I mean, with either way, the Pride going up against either Deep 13 or Final Exam. Whoa. Don't want to, buddy. But I think those are big challenges for the Pride because the level of competition from all of the other players in those other teams is pretty high up there. And I do have a lot of faith and hope in both Rachel and Ben. I just don't think that there's enough experience from Ben to go against the competitors from the other teams.
I feel like Ben Goddard can be rattled easily.
That's kind of what I feel like too, a little bit. There's just something about it. Like, I haven't really seen him be super stern in his character at the desk whenever someone says something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like he has a certain ego about him very much going into this. And for a competitor that's so new to the game, I feel like he's a little too confident too soon. And I think his pride might, no pun intended, might get the best of him pretty soon once he gets when he goes up against a really great competitor, like his first non-rookie, essentially. Like, if he went up against, like, for example, I don't know, like Alonso Duraldo or something. If it was like a singles match, I would be like, I'm sorry, but it's Alonso.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like his confidence might get the best of him, and
or you know what?
Yeah.
I mean, Crimson 94, it's seeing it as a joke and everything else, and we'll bring up that thing. Like, that's the kind of thing I mean, though, because that's something that really got under his skin. And if something like that gets under his skin, if he has to face somebody like Andrew Guy, who's going to get under his skin, I mean, I just feel like he could stumble a little bit, maybe just enough.
That makes sense.
That he fumbles. So, I mean, that's going to be what we have to see. If Ben can keep his composure, and then it'll be a damn good match. My prediction, my initial gut says the Final Exam or Deep 13 would maybe beat them, but it'd be a lot closer. It might be a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if Den won at all.
Yeah.
But it really can go either way. They're both both teams are filled have competitors, individual competitors that would be strong both as individual competitors, even more so as teams. But also on top of that, it's like there's clearly there's like a certain it factor, I guess you can say, to them. I don't know if that makes sense, but at least that's how it feels to me. But also, we're very biased. We love every single competitor that's in both these teams. So we're very biased going into it. Like, I love Rachel.
Yeah.
So much. So if I would never bet against Rachel in a million years.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming in from too. Is I'm rooting for the Pride because of Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel is my live event wife. I love her dearly, and I think
exactly. So if anyone tells me otherwise, saying that she's a horrible competitor, I will.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I think she's.
If anyone tried to pull it, Alex.
That's a big no.
Yeah, we love Rachel.
But I was saying, I brought this up in the chat before. Brandy says that he can hold it. Brandy, maybe he can, but I don't think he's shown it yet. He's got to prove that to me that he can. I mean, granted, I haven't followed a lot of the things he does, but as far as his match against RB3 is not a good indicator of whether he can hold it or not, because that wasn't as big of a match as far as.
You're a little too confident too soon from one match.
So getting up against someone like an Andrew Guy or somebody like that could really use that against him.
Exactly, like a non-rookie for sure.
That's what I want to say. But maybe you know what? I don't want to underestimate Rachel's ability to. Rachel's a very, very, very strong-willed woman, and she's very. I think that she is someone that might be able to kind of whip it.
Just call it as it is, Paul. She's a badass. Okay,
she's a badass motherfucker, and I think she might be able to be strong enough to say, "Ben, shut your fucking trap. Just focus." She might be able to focus him, and that could be.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Brandy, I was thinking Brandy said something. Brandy, I just noticed in the chat again. Yes, you know him very well. I get that, but knowing him in a chat format is a lot different than seeing him play in a big match.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You got to prove it in the match in the moment. As far as what he does in the streams, he could be. He maybe does, but he's got to show it. He's got to show it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And but saying Rachel definitely could be able to keep him in line.
I can definitely whereas where she kind of carried Inky in the brain clearly. I mean, not to say that Devon's a horrible competitor or anything. He had its moments, obviously. most competitors do. They have they have good moments here and there, but she clearly carried Inky in the brain. But also, she was in a situation with that team where she almost had to be like looking over him, make sure he was focusing. She had to almost like treat him like a child, almost as a competitor. Which is, I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but she was like in this kind of situation where she had to look over him to make sure he's like on point, to rein him in every time they spun Will Smith, things like that. And with Ben Goddard, she's who's obviously she's not going to be in that situation. She's going to have to rein him in a different way. She's just going to be like, hey, not only focus, but you're being an asshole right now. Get your shit together. Or just be like, hey, you're like doing this or that. We need to be a unit. This is not about you. This is about us. So I feel like she'd be in more of that situation rather than the other.
Yeah, I know that's a good point. I think Rachel has, the fact that she has the experience running a team, so to speak, will help her out. And if Ben can be better than Devin, and we know that, I know that's the case, that Goddard is definitely already going to be better than Devin or Devon. Devon? Either way. So it's already a step up for her. So I think if she keep him going, the team could go a long way. And they need to have these matches, because I think the more matches they have, the better they'll get. So the winners of all this have to face Shazam. That's their victory. That's their gift. They get to face Shazam.
Yay, they get to face Shazam.
And let me tell you, that's not exactly a great time.
But if you're gonna lose to a team, might as well be one of the best.
Right, they'll lose Shazam.
Though if not to mention, if you go head to head in a solid match against Shazam, you're gonna do pretty well.
Yeah.
And either way, either team, let's say either Final Exam, Deep 13, or the Den, this is the one we're talking about. I would probably pick Shazam over all of them, to be honest, because they're both really good and they're both working together as a team very well as well.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is a lesser match for Shazam. I wouldn't say it's a lesser match, but as far as Shazam has now experience beating the family in the tournament, and then faced in Spectacular, faced the Founding Fathers, this almost seems like we did all that, we can do this. Whereas this is going to be the biggest match of the young career of the Pride, Deep 13, or Final Exam. So given that experience, I think I'd have to pick Shazam at that point. But I would like to see it. Which one would you like to see? Which match would you like to see Shazam? Do you want to see Shazam face Deep 13, the Final Exam, or the Pride? Not who's going to win, but which match intrigues you the most?
For entertainment value, I would like Shazam versus Final Exam, if they were to win, because I think that would be hilarious. The kid dealing with a delinquent.
The delinquent dealing with anybody is pure gold. Yeah. I love the delinquent.
So for actual gameplay, I don't know. I think Shazam wins no matter who it is. So
okay.
Yeah.
Alex, anybody? Or
Deep 13 Shazam.
Deep 13 Shazam. Okay.
I really just also want a reunion between
Whitney and Bibbs.
Yeah, I would love to see that happen, especially after I would love to see Whitney kind of reclaim some of that confidence back, especially after losing really badly against Brendan Meyer, but also when he was with Bibbs as well. So I would love to see that happen. And I think they also have tons of potential. So
that's true. Also, Final Exam does bring back the Paul Yama and Brendan Meyer. That was the first match of Brendan Meyer's career. So that's another thing that will
that'd be interesting.
That's the match that I would want to see. I would want to see Final Exam versus Shazam. That would be a lot of fun to watch. The banter between Lon and Bibbs, I think, would be hilarious.
That would be good too.
And I would like to see Paul Yama in that situation. I would like him to be completely surrounded by a bunch of faces and have to be in this big nice guy time match. that has never been Paul's character, and for any character that he really hasn't put on. But it would be fun to see the interactions between him and just a bunch of really nice people. So.
You know what I kind of want to see happen? It's Violent Sam wise. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the dynamic of when Who's the Boss started out, when Ben was like a heel and Mark Riley kept like apologizing for him. I'm sorry. Like Ben would say something really, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Like, it has like this back and forth that way. I almost feel like it could happen to Violent Sam if Paul developed a character. Like Lon could say one of his like delinquity things, and Paul's gonna like try to keep him in line. No, we got to play the match now. We got like the character wise, it could be very entertaining, and I do agree that I think Final Exam would be just a bit over the den for me as far as what I'd like to see for exactly the reason that everybody said. Although Rachel in that kind of moment, I love her so much. I think she deserves to be there. I would love to see Rachel up against them as well.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be her season for sure. And I just really want to see her go up against some heavy hitters and really kind of prove that she can hang with the best of them for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes, Ferris. I agree. Another wrestling reference, but yes, thank you, Luger. But yeah. So then you know what? We should touch base really quick then. Who's the boss with the Odd Couple, the rematch?
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
Always who's the boss.
Yeah.
Always who's the boss.
Sorry.
I want who's the boss.
Who's the boss against who?
Odd Couple, the rematch.
Yeah.
I think who's the boss as well. I do.
Yeah. I don't know. My heart also really kind of wants Odd Couple to win a little bit. When I say that, it's because I just feel like they need a win right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really want to see Jeff Sneider. I feel like Jeff Sneider also needs a confidence booster. And I just really want to bring it back. I just really want to see a team that's not Finstock Exchange related. But yeah, I feel like they have it in the bag. They really do. But at the same time, I just feel like the Odd Couple is, they're a former team champion.
Yeah.
Who's the boss is not.
That's true. Very upset for you. But Lucas is very upset by that. You're gonna have to go talk to him, I think.
Well,
that's the point.
Thing, so don't whatever.
I will say I thought Who's the Boss was going to beat the Odd Couple the first time they faced each other. So I'm a little more gun shy now because I kind of feel like, well, it happened before. So I'm a little nervous about it. Roxy's a kick-ass manager. She's got them in shape. I think it's all going to come down partially to two people. It's going to come down to Mark and Draco, who had a pretty much perfect type night against Who's the Boss the first time around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's going to come down to Ben Bateman, who I think even the small amount of time between the first time they lost the Odd Couple and now the match against Dan Murrell, I think he's improved even more so.
Yeah,
I think Bateman could legitimately take control of the match. That's when if Who's the Boss is going to win, I think Bateman's got to pretty much be the guy, be the man.
But that's like I don't want that to happen.
You don't want to take control?
No, I mean, Bateman's such a wonderful competitor. He's fantastic. I mean, he's a singles champion. Not currently, but he was a singles champion. But at the same time, I feel like Riley, he hasn't really had his time to shine in a while. Mm-hmm. And I would love for Riley really kind of take the reins and really kind of own up as in this kind of leadership role, as a former champion, as one of the first major champions. He's been in the league more. There's something he can take on that kind of leadership role over Bateman, who's been a champion more than Bateman.
True. It unfortunately comes down to, again, what we talked about before, what have you done for me lately? It's been a long time since Riley's been a champ.
That's true. Very true.
And Riley I think Riley's playing with a chip on his shoulder now, though. I think Riley deserves lots of proof. I'm starting to feel that.
Absolutely.
He's a legend. There's no doubt he's a legend. Absolutely. But
I just feel like Riley, really just hasn't had his time to shine in a long time. Bateman, he has it's a lot of it's recency bias. We just really haven't seen Riley do amazing in a long while.
And then it's Jeff Snyder, and his sickness might come into play. I know he was sick around that time. I don't know if he played before. Again, we don't know if this match is taped or not yet.
Yeah.
But Jeff did not look spectacular at his game against Irwin. He was rattled a few times. So I mean, I guess I did say before it comes down to two people, but really, there's just a lot of moving pieces in this match.
Yeah,
For sure, absolutely.
Of course, Roxy versus Dagnino is always one, but
That's
honestly,
always a good one.
but let's face it, I think Roxy will do well with Odd Couple. I don't really think as much. I love me Tommy love Tom and Dagnino, love Bobby Gucci. Who's the Boss doesn't really need Bobby Gucci as far as the in-game play goes.
true.
So at that point,
Right.
so I don't know. If I had to predict it, I think Who's the Boss is on a run. I think the FinSock Exchange, much to Alex's chagrin, we're not going to go into it again. The FinSock Exchange is on a run, and they're going to be sharing the belts for a while. So I think Who's the Boss is going to win that match.
Done. So done with them.
And then finally, let's go to
What a what? Yes.
corruption in Founding Fathers.
Corruption.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. It's going to be Founding Fathers.
I want corruption to win.
I
Right.
want correct. I love Founding Fathers, but I love me some corruption.
I would pay so much money
I
for them to win.
Until okay, I respect the hell out of Mike Kalinowski. He's in Twitter jail right now. Free Kalinowski. Everybody should try to tweet that out and get him out.
Yeah, free Kalinowski.
I respect Mike Kalinowski as a player. I do think until he shows me he's back in the singles thing, then I can't choose him. Chance will be carrying the team until Mike gets back on his game. I think Mike could absolutely get back on the horse. He just hasn't shown it to me yet at all.
yeah.
Whereas Dan and John, they're pretty much on fire at this point.
They're cowboys.
They're cowboys. They're wanted dead or alive, and they're riding their horses.
Yeah, it would be awesome if they had some, like real challenge.
So
Yeah.
I think the challenge will be it's going to be Who's the Boss versus the Founding Fathers.
Awesome. There's like a
Break
team
up
really
explosion of the FinStock Exchange.
Yeah.
Alex's
Story
favorite
wise,
match.
that would be cool.
That'll be Alex's favorite match. Who's
Yeah.
the Boss versus the Founding Fathers? Whoever wins, the FinStock
No,
Exchange
he
wins.
wins the best. He does. Point still at the end of the day goes to the
Yep.
fucking exchange.
Doesn't matter who are the belts. It's going to be the
I'm so
FinStock
sick of it. Oh, it's like who gets the belt this week? You do? Okay, well next week I get it. I feel like they're all in a sharing circle and they just pass it around between each other. And you're like, okay, you get it this week, and then I get it next week, and I get it this week. That's how I'm envisioning it.
Yeah,
A little
it's just her traveling pants, but it's the belt travels
Fair
around.
enough.
Brotherhood of the Traveling Belt.
Yep,
What it
Brotherhood
is.
of the traveling belt.
Well, hopefully, we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know. It would be cool to see somebody else up there. I agree at some point, but at the end of the day, it is somebody's got to do it. Maybe Final Exam does it. Maybe they finally break that. Maybe it is corruption. Maybe Chance does it. Maybe somebody does it. But if I had my prediction, I think we're going to see Who's the Boss versus the Founding Fathers. That's my prediction.
If it would be awesome if Lon Harris wanted to put any effort. If effort was cool.
Effort is lame.
But but the thing is, effort is super lame. I don't know how much more. I love Lon Harris so much. Give him
I
a
love
Lon.
Harris.
I love Lon Harris, dude.
I love Lon. Can I get a podcast with him on it as in character?
Well, you might be in luck. He is coming on Chill in 3 weeks.
I know. I want a standalone show. I want a standalone podcast. Him just doing like life lessons of why we shouldn't care about anything.
Life lesson from the streets.
More up on the streets. None of it matters. Philosophy and film. No one cares. Alfred Hitchcock. Pfft, whatever.
Well, that
Is
my
that-
research. for the most
Is that
part.
your research? Well,
That's my
thank you. That was fantastic. All right. So we could probably move into the next section. Let me see, which is Call to the Network, where we talk about shows we have coming up this week and in the future. So starting with tomorrow, Danny, Paul, what's going on with Chill?
Paul.
Okay. Tomorrow we are reuniting one of the greatest teams in the history of the Showdown. Okay, and it's not the Wild Bears. We are actually reuniting Paul Preston and Adam Witt, the movie guys, which is actually very timely considering they're putting up their own free-for-all video with Star Wars characters. I believe tomorrow is what they're doing, if I see that correctly on the Movie Trivia Showdown page. They should be a fun team to see. Fun twosome there. And we have actually a lot. We have the next couple of weeks scheduled out already.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're making plans and filling up that schedule.
We are. I can go the next week. We're going to have the OG Action Army member that Jake denies. Janine the Machine will be on, and so I can't wait for that one. Finally getting her on, that one's been a long time coming.
Yeah,
so excited.
The aforementioned Lon Harris is coming on in 3 weeks. Again, I can't wait for that. This or that. John Harris or Ed Harris. A little preview. He won't see it, so it'll be okay. And then finally, what else we have for week number 4? I got the big guy, big time. Ethan Irwin is going to come on Chilled Action. So that's a big get for us. I'm actually very, very impressed. I think that should be a very fun one as well.
So excited.
That is our confirmed list for
we have 2 or 3 that are unconfirmed. Pretty exciting as well. But we'll talk about that later on.
Yes.
Yeah. Save some to tease next week, guys. Yeah. All right. And then Wednesday, Alex, are we doing Schmo Bates on Wednesday?
Hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah, I reached out to my people. I'm going to be having movie guys as well this upcoming Wednesday. I did reach out to them today, and I haven't really got any kind of confirmation, so that's why I'm like, maybe I should come up with a backup plan just in case. And I'm also having John Roca on next week, so that next week as well. So that's gonna be a fun time, and also gonna be having Brad Gilmore as well. So that's gonna be a hoot.
Should be good. Good
fun. Super excited for that. And then Saturday we are going to have something. It's gonna be pretty awesome. You forgot about Saturday.
We talk about all day. Jesus Christ. Let me drink some more. Go ahead.
Saturday is the 2-year anniversary of our channel. 2 years. So we are combining it with our 1000K celebration to be a double extra amazing celebration. We're going to be on for a very long time. We're not entirely sure exactly how long, but it's going to be long. We'll try to get as many people from C2A on as often as we can through it, play some games, have maybe some guests on. We're not entirely sure yet. We're still working on things, but it's going to be fun.
I like doing a little bit of negotiations while we're live. Chris Adams, you're in the chat. Are you doing anything? You like doing anything next Saturday?
Are you doing anything on Saturday night?
You might have a little, if they Cinefanatics are
Adams
around,
Brothers.
I'd like to have them.
They're
big to get us to 1K, so we'd like to
Cinnamon Fanatics. Are you doing anything on Saturday?
Cinnamon Fanatics.
Because that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, on Sundays, we will be here with another episode of Call to Action Live. So that will be a lot of fun. Any other shows we're missing? I don't think I've heard about AAA or Call to the Families, but if we do have an episode coming, we'll post about it on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There you go. Sweet. Maybe they'll be guesting on as well. So
yes,
maybe.
All of us are going to appear at some point. That's the idea. We're going to actually have a long enough show where we're going to come in and out. And you get to see all of your favorite C2Ers at this point, and our Cinefanatic 2Ers as well. So.
Awesome. Oh, I'm so excited for that. All right. And then the last section of the show, questions from the chat.
Oh, yeah.
This is your opportunity to ask us questions, Showdown related or not. So if you have anything you want to ask us, any fight you want to trigger, be our guest.
Well, there's our first one. Longer than your stream? It might be.
It might be. We're still trying to decide, but I think that's the plan. So.
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably one of my favorite streams of all time.
It is one of my favorite streams of all time.
I kind of don't want anything to top that stream.
Okay, yeah.
We're down in history.
Same question as always. Alex, how dare you?
I don't know. You would know. You fucking married me. We'll find out.
Wow. Wow.
Boom.
You know what you're getting into. He likes it as much as I do. We love fighting. It's fun.
Let me see. Oh, favorite dessert from General Ferris Muthana? General Muthana?
You know what, guys? I genuinely love me some pumpkin pie. Like,
Ooh,
I love pumpkin pie. I used to ask to have pumpkin pie for birthday cake for my birthday, because my birthday's in May and you don't get pumpkin pie until November. And
Mhm.
so,
Yeah,
but
good choice.
I would have to say sticky toffee pudding is probably my favorite. Oh, it's like warm. It's with a cake with like a toffee and like with cream on top. It's majestic.
Go ahead, Kelsey.
I like the Godiva cheesecake that they have at Cheesecake Factory because it's gluten free because the crust is made of actual chocolate, and then the cheesecake.
Wow.
creme brulee also sounds so delicious.
Oh,
Love
Oh my gosh. There's that first crack you do over creme brulee is so satisfying, and you're like, and I'm like, oh.
love the creme
You
brulee.
might as well hear like angel voices. It's so majestic.
I will say there's two for me. One is Kimmy D makes a cheesecake that is to die for. She makes it when I'm good every year, so I want to get it once every like 3 or 4 years, maybe if I'm lucky. But it's really good. The other one would be my mom. Mama PLD used to make before she passed on, made this wonderful tapioca pudding, which was always so warm, and it was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. I could actually literally eat like bowls of it at a time if I could. Kind of miss it, to be honest with you, but that is something I always think about quite often when I think about my mom. So let's see.
yum yum.
Any other questions in the chat? Let's see. Scott Boost in there. Ethan Irwin, are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you. He actually answered my email and seemed excited about it. So let's see.
Woo.
I'll show you me. Swag. Who's AAA gonna upset this week? That's a
Great
good question.
Yeah, Dylan, if you are kind of curious or if you guys have a request for swag, definitely comment below because I know Dylan and Nat, they're the ones that are in charge of AAA, and they're trying to especially like right now, obviously with not having as many matches, they want to do more episodes, with everything going on, but at the same time, they want more people to kind of offer suggestions, since some of the matches can't be like, some of their competitor discussions can't really focus on the match of the week always. So that makes sense.
I will say the answer is always going to be the other members of Call to Action. Whenever they put up a poll, they're going to upset all of us because then we have to go into damage control mode.
Yep. Be like, we had nothing to do with it. And
Dean Morgan, haven't seen the chat very often tonight, but you've been there a lot. It's great to see you. Thank you for watching. Do we think Roka has a chance to be in the GOAT conversation if he beats Dan again?
Why does it have to be like one GOAT? Like, why do we?
It's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but at the same time, I mean, like,
Mark
is
That's what greatest means.
Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you, Lucas.
There's only one greatest. There's only one winner.
with the spoon. But at the same time, but I mean, like, there's so many things that Roka is so much better at than Merle. And, but also vice versa. There's so many things that Merle is better at than Roka. So, I mean, like, it just kind of depends on where your priorities lie as a viewer.
I will say this, and this is going to be scary because I'm kind of sort of agreeing with Alex here a little bit. I will say that it all depends on what you mean by greatest of all time. It's the same conversation as we have about the Mount Rushmore that we were talking about. We actually have to have that episode somewhere. To me, there's different Mount Rushmores. A lot of people say that's the level of trivia. A lot of people say it's some people. I always say that the character has to be involved in that because that's what the Schmoedown is.
I agree. And Roka is a stronger character than Merle. So I think he's more of a package.
Well, that's okay. Well, we actually had this conversation last night talking about what it means to have the Mount Rushmore specifically of Schmoedown, because when you look at Mount Rushmore, out in South Dakota. Specifically, what it is, it's like the Mount Rushmore is the founders of the United States, right? So we have Abe Lincoln. We got, I think, we have Washington.
Say what you said again. The founders of the United States.
It was like, I mean, like, but they're the most iconic people when it comes to it. I think that's not changing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
No, my point is that it's the Mount Rushmore is not an ever-changing thing. So it's not something we're kind of swapping in one competitor for another. This week, we're going to add Riley to it. And then we're going to have Ellis in it. No, I mean, like, it's a thing that can't be changed. We're not adding people to it.
That is actually a very good conversation.
You know, in that case, under that argument, you know, you would have Christian. I mean, you would have Ellis.
I think Christian and Ellis would be the mountain itself, to be honest. They'd be the mountain that the faces are on.
It would just be Christian and Mark's face with faces of the other competitors, like on their cheeks, right?
Yeah,
it might be Roca, right?
1736 by David McCall.
Because that's Abe Lincoln is not in that book. That's what I'm trying to say. Abe Lincoln is nowhere to be found in that book.
I don't remember. Is Hamilton up there? I don't remember. Is it? Oh man, I love small books. Oh, it's like crap. Here. My point regarding Mount Rushmore is that it's not an ever-evolving set of, you know, the greatest people. There are the core people that are going to be there no matter what. You know, so if that's the case, you know, under that argument, we would have Ellis and Christian. Arguably, I would say Roca's up there. But also on top of that, for the first manager of all time, I would honestly put up Bobby Gucci.
Possibly. I mean, I would think that both Makuga and Riley would have to be in the conversation as well, because they were amongst the early old time. Riley was the first champion, and Makuga was probably. I mean, if anybody had Makuga is a character in and of itself.
Yeah, but okay, so in that case, who would you kick off to put that person up there?
I cheated a little bit and had Christian and Mark be the mountain that the faces were on.
Well, I mean, that doesn't count. That's my point.
I'm making the rules here, Alex. I'm changing the rules.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you changing the rules of Mount Rushmore as well? Okay.
If you can say Abe Lincoln is the founding father of the United States, and I can say that.
Whatever. It don't matter. It don't matter.
We're actually talking about Mount Rushmore. That's a different conversation. We're talking about greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Conversation.
But that's the thing. If we're gonna apply it, why don't we use something else that has like a more of a variety? Why don't we say? I think Danny last night she was like, why don't we use like the almost like the wonders of the world, like the 7 wonders of the world kind of thing.
Yeah,
7 wonders of Schmodown.
That could be more.
We can have a little bit of more variance between these competitors.
Well, that's a different conversation to have, and I agree with you. That's a good conversation.
Yeah, I mean, like having Mount Rushmore, it's just too rigid, and it's just everyone's favorites is going to change.
I would guess the short answer of the question, going back to the original question, whether John is in the conversation at that point by beating Dan, I say, yeah, he's got to be in the conversation, only because that we are right now having a conversation about what we don't even know what the greatest of all time actually technically means. So yeah, I could say he's in the conversation. Absolutely. Best first character.
100% in my top is my personal, Rushmore,
Well, I think Dan is better than Roke overall. I think in trivia knowledge and I think in championships, yes. But as far as
but not in terms of character development or story.
That could be true. We're very, very. You're like Alice, my little sister. I have to fight like cats and dogs with her. I feel that way. Speaking of the opposite end of that spectrum, can I get Alex versus either Lucas or Paul in Schmobates?
Yes.
I'll do Lucas versus Paul, but I will never compete in Schmobates.
You'll never compete in Schmobates?
No. It won't happen. I don't want to. I have no desire to do it. It won't happen.
And the hearts are broken. Let's see, Alex, is it true here? Let's see. Danny Coase. Oh no, PC. When's your birthday, Danny?
May? My birthday is in May. My birthday is May 25th. I am a Gemini. My sun is in Gemini, my rising is in Gemini, and my moon is in Taurus.
Fair enough.
What does that mean? Moon.
I
That's
learned
all
a
the
lot
show-
about astrology recently. I watched the Explained on it, and I was fascinated. I
Nice.
don't know very well. It was interesting.
Go, Danny Coast, favorite song for the quarantine karaoke.
What is my favorite song for the quarantine?
I think we're alone now.
I
This
like
is a
that.
great song.
I like that. Down with the sickness, maybe. Or... I always think Queen though, so it'll be something Queen.
Yeah, it's The End of the World by R.E.M.
There you go. There you go. Show must go on. That's I'll go for Queen. The show must go on.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Or do I go through Wants to Live Forever?
Have you
That's
all
a regular.
Have y'all seen that there are like coronavirus playlists on Spotify?
I did do that. Actually, it's pretty funny. Not funny, but not funny. Haha, but funny.
Yeah. Like, oh, of course.
Do you have one, Alex? Do you have a quick
Probably The End of the World by Skeeter Davis.
There you go.
Don't that you know the end of the world? It ended when you said goodbye.
And Mike, you can also for Alex. Who is
Darth
Luke Skywalker's dad?
Darth Sidious, right? Right? Right?
Right?
I actually really expected Lucas to go vaulting over into the screen.
I have his lightsaber right there.
Let's see.
Lucas is pissed.
I'm pretty pissed right now too. Just so you know.
Good. That's purposeful.
How's social distancing been more indoors or outdoors?
So I just started my official social distancing today, and I have spent all day inside. But any like outdoor activities that I want to do, like going for runs and stuff like that, I'm not around a bunch of people. There's plenty of spaces and places for me to run outside that I don't have to worry about being in crowds of people. Same thing with playing disc golf. Like there's not going to be a shit ton of people at the park. And if there are people at the park, they're not going to be in my 6-foot area. So
Yeah, I did that today too. I just took a dog and the kids. We went to the park just to. We all scattered too. We didn't even stay together. Kind of like we got to get away from each other. So you go that way, we'll meet the car in like 30 minutes.
yeah, and it's not like there's anything around that like I have to disinfect or anything. Like I'm not touching any. Like I'm not like. There's no equipment that you use other than your own discs that you have. Even that like the baskets from disc golf, you don't even really touch those. So trying to stay sane.
Yeah. I would say I've been pretty like because I had a surgery, a very minor baby surgery, earlier this month. But the thing is, as a result of said surgery, I can't lift 20 pounds and I can't even speed walk. Otherwise, it's very uncomfortable.
Honey.
So it's unfortunate, and I cannot wait to actually because when I speed walk, it just gets really uncomfortable. So I cannot wait to being able to go outside and take go running and stuff again. Because the gym that I go to Orange Theory with Lucas, and we used to go like 5 times a week, active to classes, and it's like 4 or 5 times, and it's very difficult going from doing that so many times a week to literally just being actively indoors the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Where I can't even do yoga in our gym.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've spent the majority of my time indoors. Like I said, lots of video games. But my grocery store is walking distance. So when I do need something, I do walk there. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Get some fresh air, get my steps in.
Yeah.
General Muthana again. What movie universe would you quarantine yourself in? Now, I guess the question would be: do you actually have to like quarantine yourself in a house, or do you just mean you get to go to a universe and just do whatever you want to do? Because if it's just going to a universe, I'm going to a galaxy far, far away.
Of course.
I'm taking Alex with me so I can teach her a few things.
Yes.
That'd be more lines of Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll be on opposite ends of the galaxy. Remember that. Well, maybe we'll run into each other. You never know.
Yeah.
And
They're different time periods though, because it's a galaxy long time ago
You
and
know
a
what?
galaxy far, far away.
We're gonna be time
Guardians is
jumping
now.
anyway. There's gonna be a lot of time jumping. You don't forget that. Not to mention, I'm probably gonna have a better soundtrack since yours is like all like really great classical with John Williams. I love John
You
Williams.
fucking said John Williams is.
Sorry,
Oh my God!
Bowie.
First thing you ever said to
Okay.
me. I'm about.
Let's review.
No, three-way fight.
Oh,
Here we go.
one of the
Danny
greatest
winning on this.
No, right?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, we're gonna get cut off.
we're getting copyright strike.
Dun, dun.
John Williams, the goddamn national treasure. You would take any soundtrack that Guardians of the Galaxy and wipe his ass with it. You are never been more wrong in your life, Alex.
What's the matter with your mind and your spine? And
I've had enough of that. John Williams is the greatest of all time. That's the goat. That is the goat of all time. John fucking Williams.
I'm with you, Paul. I'm on your side this time.
Please, please, where is Lucas? Lucas. Oh.
Just saying, I have a lot more variety. I don't want every moment of my life to be crazy epic with the beautiful wonders of John Williams.
If I could have John Williams score my life, I would be living in heaven.
I know, right?
Yeah.
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 I'm
No,
gonna move on.
I just because all of my friends are into Star Wars, I started watching Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and anytime that I get into something, I really get into it. So I started listening to the soundtrack before work. This conversation was for her. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Did you see that?
No, I missed it.
Lucas just came back and just did the best face. He was like smiling at me and everything because he was so proud of my answer. So
Did that happen,
yes, I
Lucas?
agree with you in
Did that
choosing
happen?
Guardians of the Galaxy over anything and everything that John Williams has ever done. He was very proud of my answer. He's like, yes, Guardians of the Galaxy is clearly the superior soundtrack and music compared to Star Wars.
Compared to like Duels of the Fate, things like that.
No,
Really?
I actually love Jewels of the Faith. I go to that's like one of my favorite songs to like work out to.
that was the whole point of everything that I was just
But
saying.
that's the one song I listen to.
Listen whenever I open up the bar at work. So.
That is the only song I actively listen to by John Williams.
Look at Paul struggling over here.
I don't
I'm in
listen.
pain.
The thing is, okay, Paul, thing is, I'm not okay. Remember, I don't care about Star Wars. I can appreciate it for what it is. And do I wonder, I am amazed with George Lucius's,
George Lucas?
like marvelous movies what he's done for film technology. And John Williams.
Who are you? What happened to you as a child? How many times were you dropped? How many times were you dropped on your head?
Jesus fuck. Obviously, I'm kidding. George Lucas.
Obviously.
That's his name.
George Lucas. I feel like I need to go get my lightsaber and just be like, end it.
Charge you if Danny has anything on her channel yet, because I have to end this conversation now. And not go on. Danny, where's your channel? What's going on with your channel?
George Lucas is so great as a filmmaker. Yeah. Look at this.
I missed it. I missed everything you just said.
Don't worry about it, Danny. Hit it up with your channel. What's going on with your channel? Does anything come up soon?
What's happening with your channel, Danny?
Absolutely nothing at the moment, but I have recorded some stuff. I'm just trying to edit. I'm teaching myself how to edit and all of that good, great stuff. So it's very grassroots, and it's very. It's not going to be as nice as most of the things that you're used to seeing, but I am going to try to get it out there because I have been wanting to do this for a while. And now that we have to self-quarantine and be inside, I have no excuses. I have absolutely no excuse to not sit down and read a book and watch a movie and then talk about it. So
I'm excited. Get it done. I want to see
Me
it.
too.
yeah,
I'm excited.
I really appreciate everyone's support with it. Other people have asked me about it before too, so I really do want to get it up and get it going out there because I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun, and I think we'll have fun doing it
Definitely.
together. Yay!
Again, Dean Morgan, with no movies being released right now, at least in theaters, what's your favorite movie of 2020 so far?
Birds of Prey.
Sonic.
Oh wait, can we get a list of movies that have been released?
I'm
Would you like
not
a
going to
list
do
of movies?
You
List.
can. Oh, Google. You can do Google.
My hearty right there.
I would say for me, it's The Way Back.
I still haven't seen it. I'm mad
I
that I
haven't
didn't
either.
get to see it in theaters, man.
So good. Well, Alex is looking up the list. We'll go to the next question, and Alex, we can come back to you for that. Stardew wants to know if Kelsey's going to promote her game stream tomorrow.
Yay. Okay, so I've been bored, so I filmed myself gaming. It isn't a live stream because I can't do live streams for a few days on YouTube till I get like verified. So they'll just be premiered. But I will be in the chat, so you can watch me play Honeycam Studios, and it'll be fun. And if you guys like it, maybe I'll try to do it more often. But
Okay, I'm going to have to go back. I think I missed some of the questions that were because of Star Wars Gate. I scrolled back, so let me get the ones. How in the fuck? Oh my God, dear God, no, from Brendan Buckingham. What movies? All right, Swag wants to know what movies best describes your all swag. I don't know. I don't have swag. I already discussed this earlier. I don't have swag.
Paul has no swiggity swag.
Swiggy swag. If I'm dripping, I'm going to the doctor because that's not.
yeah, we probably all should if we're dripping.
Really, I think mine is gonna be Don't Be a Menace.
Okay.
Don't Be a Menace is probably a movie that I appreciate very much, and I think it's very funny. And I'm trying to think of any other movie.
Okay.
You know what? I really loved. I really loved The Bronx Tale. Also, Bronx Tale was definitely one of my favorite movies. But it's mostly because there's a line. I saw this movie when I was really young. There's a line in the movie where C, the main character, asks Jane her name. What's her name? And she tells him Jane. And he says, "Oh, I thought it'd be something exotic, like I forget the first name that he says, or Danielle." So ever since then, I love this movie.
Very nice.
And Don't Be a Menace are probably my
Cool.
swaggy movies.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey, you got some swag?
I don't have any swag. I have no idea. I'm just gonna agree with Danielle. That feels like the right decision.
Alex, do you have any swag?
I don't have very many I don't have a swag at all, but I can tell you some of my favorite movies.
Throw it out there. Go right ahead.
So some of my favorite movies are Rear Window, Silence of the Lambs, Alien, and Death Proof.
Nice. I saw someone said something about Half Baked in the chat, and yes, absolutely, Half Baked is one of the best movies ever. Abba Zaba, you my only friend. I love that movie. Oh my gosh, that is a great movie as well.
Okay, looks like I'm going here. Looks like Jake Acavetta says that because I took my hat off and showed my balder head that I went to middle school before the Great Depression with John Roca. That could be true.
I never mentioned my favorite movie so far this year. Actually, I just saw it this year for the first time, even though it was released last summer. Was Brittany Runs a Marathon.
Nice.
I loved
That movie hit me so hard. It really did. And I was like,
Okay.
by the end of the movie. And I was like, I don't know. I just kind of went into it kind of expecting a really solid feel-good movie.
Mhm.
Nope. I was like, wow. I did not expect to have this kind of reaction. And it's just like a really awesome movie. So
Never
it
saw it.
made it even worse knowing that I can't go out and exercise. But
At the risk of bringing it back, Garth Murray does have something funny to say. Lucas, I guess that means your actual name is Lucius now, because
Mhm.
George.
Lucia Shashek.
oh no, oh man, that brings out the lisp. Oh, lisp. Ugh. My lisp is gonna come back. Oh man, I have like all my speech impediments are gonna come back. Oh, I don't want that.
Lucas does want to call you out though and says, "Well, Alex, that's not exactly an answer to the 2020 question, then, is it?"
Yeah, I know. It's a movie that I saw for the first time this year. I mean,
Chris Adams, that going Warrior. Okay, I could do that. I could go with that. But as if I have swag enough, that would be my swag.
I watched Warrior for the first time this year also.
Did you cry your eyes out?
I did. I watched Warrior right after I saw the 1994 Little Women.
That's a lot to take in.
So, like, I was already in, like, my family feels. Like, Little Women is about sisters, and then Warrior is about brothers. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to call all of my siblings right now. I'm just like, bawling my eyes out after watching these movies. That's a double feature to watch.
That sounds like it.
Great double feature right there.
Kim also saw it for the first time in the past couple weeks or maybe month, and she called it a dick flick, which I think she liked the idea. It's like the opposite of a chick flick, but it's a chick flick for dicks.
what's a chick flick, Paul?
Was that?
What's a chick flick?
According to Kim, I have to ask Kim. This is what she
No, I want to know what's a chick flick.
What is a chick flick? Are we getting to this fight now? I can tell you're all riled up.
No. I mean, like I've heard different things of what a chick flick is.
What
Like,
is generally a chick flick?
I've had this conversation with my mom. I've always considered Alien a chick flick, but then I heard from other people say it's not a chick flick. So
Alien, there's a difference. I think the difference between a chick flick is more derogatory. Chick flick is more I don't necessarily mean derogatory.
I think chick flick is a film that's geared completely towards women, and it's kind of movie a guy usually has to get dragged to. Like they want to go see Alien, like they're, you know what I mean?
Well, I've always considered like I don't know. It's just the communication student in me where like I remember studying in school the technicalities, but by technical definition from what we learned in school, Alien is a chick flick.
The chick flick, in as far as
by the technical definition, according from what we learned in film studies in school.
Well, I mean that's the same sort of.
It varies. It varies person to person, and it's also based on genre. So
that's the same technicality that lands on my argument that miscongeniality should have always been up for action movie anatomy because it follows all of the rules for action movie anatomy. So it's the same sort of sense that yes, technically, like it hits all of the marks for what a chick flick is, but I think because a lot of just what happens in the real world and all of the stupid bullshit that we all have to deal with, chick flicks are mostly those romantic comedies. Basically, just what a romantic comedy is what most people would consider a chick flick.
It's I think Kelly said it best. It's a movie that I like. I mean, guys love. I love chick flicks. To be honest, I could.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I would consider. Honestly, I would consider. Whatchamacallit, Little Women a chick flick.
Absolutely.
It's focused on the personal growth and story behind a female character and female relationships.
Right.
And to me, that is the core of any quote unquote chick flick. And
it's actually
and if there happens to be love or if there happens to be something else that's involved, that's a plus, sure. But that's not the core. That's not the core message behind a chick flick should be. It should be focused on.
I would argue that chick flick, if you're going to say chick flick, it's. I will define chick flick by defining dick flick. As I said, a dick flick. Warrior is a great dick flick, not because it's a film that is about father-son and brother relationships.
And there's also like one female in it.
There's one female. And there's a little bit of that of the husband, but it's more the husband side of it. So,
Again, there's one female in it.
right. And that's a dick flip because it's all about the male relationships. So the males are generally getting more out of it because that's their relationships. They have those kind of relationships. A chick flick tend to be more women relationships. But the funny part is, and this is where the funny part lies, is that the romantic comedy side, because women tend to be, at least through things, not me necessarily, but women tend to be the ones who want to go see the romantic comedies in the movie theaters. If you have a choice between a romantic comedy and an action flick, it's going to skew females go more towards the romantic comedy, whereas men are going to go more towards the action flick. Doesn't mean it's all that way. Hell, Kim and I would go see an action flick. Hell, Kim and I had a running joke for a long time where we never would see a romantic comedy on Valentine's Day. We'd go see a horror film or something like that because that's just what we wanted to do. So it's not an all or not, but if you're going to have the definition of what it generally is.
It's just a weird, shitty thing to title a movie anyway, at least in my opinion, because for all of the reasons that everyone has stated before earlier, like, I want to go see, like, I very much enjoyed Warrior. I thought Warrior was a great movie, and I know,
like my favorite movie.
Yeah, it's so good. And I know that Paul, you enjoy movies like Miss Congeniality, and they're totally fine. So I just always hate like chick flicks, like the terms and stuff like that. It's just I just always thought it was silly, like a silly thing to do, and just I mean we're all past that, and I think especially with all of us I think we all know and understand. We're not stupid to what goes on in public talk, and we all talk with other people who aren't like into movies as most of us are. But I think because all of us here know how into movies we all are, using terms like chick flick or dick flicks in everyday conversations with other people who are very much into movies, I think it's just a silly thing.
Yeah.
Silly
Well,
and pretty
well, just to clarify that, it's just like, like Dean Morgan, just as long as who cares as long as it's a good movie. Absolutely.
Exactly.
The thing is, people don't say dick flicks.
Right.
People don't say, oh, I don't want to go to that movie, it's a dick flick. No, people say, I don't want to see that movie because it's a chick flick.
Exactly.
And people continue to say it till this day. And when talking about what kind of movie gets money or what kind of a fan base is something's gonna develop, people say this is a chick flick audiences, and people kind of look down upon that genre as a whole.
Right.
And as a result, people look down upon what kind of content, that is, if it's like a female dominated viewership. In this case, like more women are statistically likely to see romance or rom-coms and everything. That's fine, but there's association. Oh, it's gonna be a stupid movie because it's a chick flick, and that's the problem. And people don't say that about dick flicks, and that's not a thing.
Maybe we should.
If that's the thing, maybe we should. The thing is, it's not gonna happen though.
Yeah.
Kim brought it up. That's why I'm using it in my household now.
I could kind of see like what Danny's put to it. I think it also depends on who you're talking to. Like in the film enjoying community, I don't think it's a great term, but like talking to my sister, she will not go see a war movie. She will not watch Warrior. She will not this, but she's gonna go see Isn't It Romantic and The Hustle and those shows because that's what she likes.
Right.
So,
well, the thing is, under that definition, Isn't It Romantic? That's a rom-com, but it's technically not considered a chick flick, quote unquote chick flick, because it's not focused on the women's relationships. That's a rom-com, but it's not focused on the personal growth and relationship of the female. It's about exclusively romance. Versus
there's female relationships, and there's like somebody that was your best friend and then becomes her enemy and then becomes her friend again. So there's still female relationships being built in that movie.
Not really.
Not great ones, but they're there.
No, relationships. All the characters and like all the female relationships in the movie are very surface level, and that's like the point of the movie. Every relationship she has, female relationship she has in the movie, she points out this is not a real relationship. We're not actually friends. This is all surface level. And they're like, what? That's like the point of the movie. And she's like, wait, I have to actually be a real person and develop real relationships. That's the whole thing. But with Little Women, it is all about having those relationships with her sisters and her mother and everything and causing that kind of personal growth. That isn't a romantic, it doesn't really focus on as much.
Yeah. I think we're going to like technical terms through like film studies and stuff. I took a class on writing and we talked about horror movies, and like the definition technically of a horror movie is you sympathize with the bad guy, like you like Frankenstein, like you sympathize. And so all these horror movies by that definition aren't horror per se, because you don't sympathize with like most of them. So like there's the film student study of genre, and then there's what film companies are doing with genre. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
Perfect.
Oh Lord, Alex.
Before I forget,
You should know this more than anyone. The smell of books is like crack.
Alex,
you're not wrong there.
The smell of
what
like freshly printed. Oh my gosh.
movie character famously stated that they lived their life a quarter mile at a time?
I legitimately don't know. I have no clue.
Dom Toretto from the Fast and Furious franchise.
Oh, I've only seen the first movie. And that was like when I was like 10, 11. Like I haven't seen any of them since I was like that age. I haven't seen any of the other Fast and Furious movies.
I will say, I will go back to the chick flick, dick flick thing. I guess it's also a generational thing. I mean, it's something that we do have to maybe examine our language to agree. But there's a danger. James actually says it here. There's a danger of overanalyzing it a little bit. I guess there's that too. I mean, to be honest, just back in the day, I know like the chick flick was the one that my date wanted to see that I didn't want to see, and it's not all or nothing, but it's it's like what it's so it was like kind of a fair. Now is it fair? Yeah, I mean, who knows? At the same time, I don't know.
It's also, I mean, like just like the definitions and the way we label things are obviously subject to change. So obviously, maybe in the future when we do say the word chick flick, maybe it's going to change to be much more encompassing. Maybe it's going to include whole new genres. Who knows? So it could take on a much more positive light. But until then,
I get it.
It's just.
That's just it was saying when she said dick flick in a way. She's just trying to make it the other. She's going the other way with it.
And again, I just want to point out, Lucas. Koi from I haven't seen the movie since I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. I don't care.
Oh my gosh.
I literally haven't seen it since I was in grade school. And I did have my sense. Not gonna lie. I mean, I don't care. It's not a priority for me. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not a fan of those movies.
We have reached the end of the chat.
All right. So that was the end of our questions. So that's all we have really for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us on this amazing episode of Call Action Live, which maybe should be renamed the Alex and Paul Argument Hour, but it's but I love it.
Happen again, Kelsey. I'm never coming back on Call Live.
Yeah,
Heel move.
Ever.
Heel
Never
move.
back on Call Live.
Yeah.
Heel move.
I don't know. No one wants me on Call Live, so
How do you know it's not Paul we want to kick off, Alex? I want you to say Paul has
No, I don't. None of our viewers like me, so whatever.
I don't think it's about like. It's just about knowing you're wrong.
I just don't agree
like.
with you.
No, I stand by it.
I love you. I think you're wrong.
We all love you.
Yeah, well, I can love people and hate them at the same time. So, whatever.
I just hate your hot takes. That's all. You just give me a heart attack.
Like Jameson, we're at an impasse. Don't matter.
That's true.
It's true. I agree with that statement.
Right. Whoa.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
That's true.
Let's have our wonderful co-hosts plug where they could be found. Paul, where people can find you.
At Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. At also Clip Shield Action tomorrow. Class Action is going to have our first live show on next Sunday. We post Action Guys post Call Live. It'll be me, Richard Eric Jarvie, and right now Rachel Silvestrini is going to guest, and potentially a fourth guest, which I don't want to say because he has not confirmed yet. but we're going to be. We'll have you on sometime when we do. What was it? We're doing. Is it Miss Congeniality? When we do something like that, that's when we're going to have Danny on.
Yeah.
This one we're going to be ranking the View Askew movies, the Kevin Smith verse. So,
Nice.
so that should be fun. And of course, PLD Projects is my YouTube channel as well. So there you go.
Awesome. And Danny, where can people find you?
You know me, y'all. You can find me on the Twitters at Danny Joy, DANIEEJOY. You can find me there. You can find me every Monday with Paul doing Chill to Action. You can find me here on the show every once in a while doing whatever I feel like doing.
Yay, you got four. Speaking of Team Alex,
Lucas
Alex.
even saying Team Alex. That's something. Wow, that's sweet.
Oh, that's love. All right, Alex, where can people find you?
Paul. Thank you, Brandy. You can find me running Call to Action Twitter. There you go. Call to Action Twitter at Call to Action Pod over there. That'd be really awesome if you checked us out there. But also, I'm in charge of the Call to Action Pod, where it's like, I actually take the audio and put it in podcast form kind of thing. So it's definitely it's definitely something we're doing actively. But yeah, definitely check us out on Facebook and everything as well. And you'll be catching me this Wednesday hosting Schmobates at 9:30 Central.
All right, awesome. And you can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. I also run the Call to Action Podcast Instagram, so you can interact with me there. TeePublic, we have merch, so you can check that out. And yeah, I will be streaming from my YouTube channel tomorrow, or I will be premiering a video on my YouTube channel tomorrow. So check it out, I guess. That's all I've got. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys. Awkward.